Black Alpha Network. Home of Black excellence. Power to the people.
Yes, indeed. Here we go. Deportation time, deportation time, deportation time. How y'all doing, my beautiful foundational Black American brothers and sisters? Hope everybody is enjoying their day. I hope everybody is enjoying the news right now. And I hope everybody's enjoying all the visuals that you see across your timelines. I hope everybody's enjoying what they see on social media. I hope everybody's watching this because this is better than reality TV, family. Yes, it is. This is better than Netflix right now. This is a lovely visual that we're seeing out here in the United States of America. It is something that we predicted was going to happen, and people didn't really want to listen. People didn't really want to pay attention to what FBA was saying, but now you're seeing it all play out, and it's absolutely wonderful. Let's get this correct, y'all. Deportation time is here. Happy Deportation Day. Happy Deportation Week, Deportation Month, Deportation Year, and as far as I'm concerned, deportations forever, because when you step into the country that foundational Black Americans built, where we paid the cost to be the boss, then your ass is gonna have to leave if you ain't showing the proper respect. So I send a big shout out to all of my beautiful foundational Black Americans, and I'm sending this out to all the migrants out there. We ain't coming to save you. So you can take all of that hope and cope that you got, and you can take it right on back with you on that plane when they sending you back to your homeland. We ain't saving the damn thing, all right? And word to the wise, all the dinosaur class out there and all the Democratic shills or whoever else is out there trying to get FBA to feel some sympathy, to get us all broke down and in our feelings and emotions, we ain't got none. Hell no. There won't be no tethered tears, y'all. It will only be foundational Black Americans standing on business. So if you can right now, please share this space. We're going to have a lively, great discussion, and we're going to celebrate everything that we predicted. Because remember, y'all, what you're seeing on your TV right now is what we predicted years ago, what we specifically predicted months ago. And everything that we have said is coming to fruition, and everything is coming to light. So like we always do when you're rocking with the Black Alpha Network, certified all the time, and I got my great brother Marcel in here. When you're around us, it's going to be a great conversation, but it's also going to be a lot of good receipts and everything that we've done. Marcel, how you feeling, my brother?
I'm good, Alpha. How are you?
Lovely, family. Lovely, lovely, lovely. You've been out here talking about deportation, call ICE, call them twice, and that reality has got even more real lately, family. So I want to hear how you feel about everything that's going on. If anybody want to come on up. Let's go to work.
Well, first of all, I'm glad to see that the Trump administration has been keeping their word. They need to get those numbers up, but they are off to a strong start. I want to say that some headline came out talking about how they are fearing labor shortages in California due to the deportations happening. I want to call BS on that because they said the same thing about Florida. I can't stand Ron DeSantis, but he cracked down on these companies using illegal immigrants. And they said the same thing will happen in Florida, that there will be a massive economic catastrophe, and that has not happened. California will be all right. Just hire Americans and pay Americans damn well, and you'll have no damn problems.
Absolutely, 100%. 100%. You know, it's funny, and a lot of us been saying it. ICE has already started, and they've been able to round up thousands of migrants, thousands of them. Undocumented people found them. And the thing goes, if they've been able to find these people so quickly, and they've been able to identify them and send them back to their homelands, then how the hell Joe Biden and Kamala Harris couldn't? How come they was running around here saying, we don't know yet, we'll figure it out, we don't know where they are? So now what's done in the dark has came to light. And the fact that they've been hiding these individuals. And where have they been hiding these individuals, family? They've been hiding these individuals in our communities. The whole damn world knows exactly where these migrants have been. They've been walking around our communities. They've been placed in our communities, and they've been getting elevation in our communities based on the things that we've created. So everybody's having a very difficult time believing that Donald Trump and Tom Homan can find these people and round them up in 5 days, but Kamala Harris and Joe Biden couldn't do a damn thing. They were protecting them. Because remember, y'all, out of all of these migrants, they go to cities that hold 70% of our population. So when we say there ain't no capes and we ain't helping the goddamn thing, we ain't helping the goddamn thing. I know y'all been seeing the videos pop up where everybody's out there saying, black folks, what y'all's gonna do? Y'all's gonna help us? Notice you don't see them out there asking the Asians for help. Why don't you go ask them? How come you don't go ask all your white liberal friends? Are y'all shocked or surprised that now they're out here pleading to black Americans to come put on the cape? Remember, y'all, these was the same ones coming over here disrespecting us, coming over here telling us to work harder. These was the same ones coming over here telling foundational black Americans what our ancestors did. It was really their ancestors. We've been watching everything. See, foundational black Americans, we see and we hear everything, and we take notes. And when we take these notes, we remember every single disrespectful, insulting tether. And now we watching all them get their wake-up calls. And family, this is a big-ass wake-up call. This ain't just some tether or some fleer getting fired or kicked off their job. These are folks getting snatched up. I've been seeing the videos. Y'all been seeing the videos. They pulling up to the Home Depot and Julio got to go. They pulling up to Lowe's, to the gas station. They taking these folks out of school. So all of those tears that they thought that they was going to have with us, they about 10, 20 years too late. We don't give a fuck. Hell no. And I believe that I speak for a lot of my foundational black American brothers and sisters that we don't care. Do you care, Marcel? Do you have any emotions for all of these people?
I care that they haven't gotten every single last one of them out. That's the extent of my care right there. And speaking of the ones they've rounded up in just these few days, some of these people have had 17, 18 convictions, and they're out on the street. You shouldn't be here in the first damn place, but then you're here committing crimes. So you committed a crime by being here, and then you go ahead and you compile your record with other crimes. And I was worried that they were just going to follow this whole, oh, we are just focusing on illegal immigrants. I'm not using the word migrants, they're illegal immigrants. I was worried that they was going to pursue this whole, we're just going after the ones who present dangers. All of them are criminals, whether they've committed other crimes since being here or not. So when Tom Homan was on Fox News and the anchor asked, what does a person have to do to get a contact from ICE? And he said, be in the country illegally. He said, that's all we need to know right there, and we're coming for you. So I'm glad they're going for all of them. And we have to do our part as well. One, if you are in this space right now, please retweet this space on your Twitter thread. So please retweet it right now, please. You can retweet it. And you may have to do it twice because you know the algorithm tries to keep us suppressed. So please retweet this space. Number two, call your local House representative and your local senator and tell them that you want these illegals gone. I'm going to do that with my local representative. I have his email. I have his personal cell phone number. So when this weekend comes to an end, I'm calling him first thing Monday, and I'm going to let him know that the South Carolina governor is talking about he stands with Trump. Yes, South Carolina is being flooded with illegals. I want them gone. Or I'm going to put the South Carolina governor on blast about how he's saying one thing in front of the camera, but doing something completely different when the cameras go off. These industries don't need these damn illegals. If an industry has been sustained by illegals, then they need to throw the illegals out and throw the people who are in charge of these businesses in jail because they had no right hiring illegals in the first damn place. The only reason they hired illegals because they didn't want to pay Americans a fair wage. And that's a crime. So if anyone's out there saying they don't know how their business is going to survive without these illegals, you are a criminal. Throw you in jail and have other industrious Americans open a business in that industry and hire Americans and pay Americans well. Now, I have no sympathy for these illegals, none. Because let me tell you one thing, if this was the other way around, if we were in their nations illegally and they were now coming after us and throwing us out as they would have a right to do, they would not show us a bit of sympathy. They don't show us sympathy now in our country that we built, knowing that we've been wrong, knowing that we are old. They're the first ones to go against the debt we are owed. That's especially true with these illegals from Latin America. Who has been the loudest against reparations? They've been even louder than white American conservatives when it comes to speaking against the reparations we are due. So if any one of you is sitting there feeling sympathy for them, I hate to say this, no offense intended, but if you're offended, good, you're dumb as hell. You're dumb as hell.
I second all of that. All of that, family. We got a great memory. I understand back in the old days with some of the older dinosaur generations, they may have just seen things, forgot them as soon as they happened. We don't. We don't. We understand every single statistic and what's going on. So let's talk about what we do know, everybody. First off, we're seeing all of these visuals that are popping up left and right, and we're watching it go down. You see, everybody's out here now with their hand up in the sky, and they're begging for us. And I agree with exactly what my brother just said right there. Our part is letting everybody know that we're all the way on board with this, because now you're starting to see they're trying to make it look like foundational Black Americans are trying to put capes on for these people and save them. But they can't really get that off the ground because it's evidently clear that we do not give a damn about these people, and we are not out here trying to save them, and we're all the way for mass immigration. The biggest thing that happened during the election, and I said this on my broadcast 2 months ago, the biggest thing that happened during this election is that the Republicans and Donald Trump found out that they can win an election based on mass deportations, and they can get a lot of support from the Black community based on mass deportation. That was a silent victory a lot of people didn't highlight, but I talked about it every goddamn week. Now they're saying, oh, we can run on mass deportations and we can landslide these Democrats, and a lot of Black folks is with it. Remember, when me and Marcel, brother, when we was out there in Carolina, we were saying reparations over mass immigration. That's what we were saying. Brothers and sisters made it crystal clear. People were watching. And y'all know they watch every single thing we do anyway. So now Donald Trump's coming into office with Tom Homan and several other people, and they're looking at the situation of, we don't got to sit here and play no games. We ain't got to drag our feet. We ain't got to pretend. All the court cases were settled in 2016 during his first term. A lot of this now is him hitting the ground running. You don't show up and start rounding all these people up like they have, where they got the Marines are at the border right now. Okay, they running up in schools right now. Good. That doesn't happen unless you got a whole lot of momentum on your side. And he has a whole lot of momentum on his side. And a lot of it's based on us not giving a damn and running these people out. So we're going to have a great conversation. I'll send it to you, Marcel. Then you can bring up the speakers, brother.
And I've been hearing that there's some mammies talking about if ICE comes to their classrooms, they are going to physically resist. You're dumb as hell. I can tell you one foundational Black American freedman teacher who will get the kids up to ICE. Right here. Let me wave my hand so y'all can know. Yep, right here. This is one teacher who will be physically assisting ICE. Sure will. Let me tell y'all something. In the past 15 years, okay? Past 15 years, most of the schools I taught at, all of them, except one, have been majority foundational Black American freedmen, okay? Except one that was majority of the kids were Hispanic. And even the blackest looking ones were calling themselves white. Every single incident we had of a freedman child being called the N-word, it was always from a Hispanic child. Couldn't even speak English, couldn't read a lick, and so it was not a language issue, it was an intellectual issue, okay? But they couldn't read, couldn't write, but they knew the N-word. They would call our kids fried chicken eaters. Our kids didn't take it. Trust me, they did not take it from them. They did not tolerate it. And this was at a school that was majority Hispanic. But I'm telling you what I have seen. So if you think any of them are our friends, you're dumb. Now, let me be very clear. I'm not saying that all of the people here illegally are bad people. I'm not going to say that. I don't believe in dehumanizing people. I don't. What I am going to say, that if you are here illegally, you being a good person, that does not excuse your presence here. That does not all of a sudden make me turn a blind eye to the fact that you're here illegally. So yes, I am sure there are millions and millions of illegals who are good people, but you still should not be here. But the same way I can acknowledge that, I can also acknowledge there are tens of millions of them who are anti-Black American bigots. They are our enemies, and they are giving birth to children who they are raising to be our enemies. That's why you have that illegal who's up in Missouri, the one that said if we want reparations, we need to leave the country. Meanwhile, she can barely speak English and she has a thick Colombian accent. Y'all remember her up in Missouri? Remember her? Remember the illegals, or they are first generation Americans, even though they should not be. That's why I'm glad Trump is rescinding birthright citizenship, and hopefully the Supreme Court will interpret that amendment the way it should be interpreted. Remember, they were all sitting up in a room in California, these elected officials trying to deprive Black Americans of our voting power in California. Remember, they said, F that guy, he's with the blacks. Remember that? Remember the article that just came out like 5 years ago talking about the rise of white supremacy among Hispanic and Latinos? Some who are white, some who are as black as those of us who are up here in this speaker panel. Remember? And that's just talking about those from Latin America. Let's not even talk about those from Asia, the Caribbean, Africa, Europe. We already had issues from white Americans. We don't need to compound our issues by importing bigots and criminals from other places. I'm not going to stand idly by and let it happen. Now, no sympathy for me, because they never show any sympathy for us. Miriam, it's on you. Hello, Miriam.
Yes, hey there, B1 to you family. It's wonderful to have this space. FBA Freedmen forever. Indeed, deportation time. It's time for us to put in that work. We've always put in work, and we're going to continue to do so. ICE is programmed in my phone, and yes, there's no shame here. As soon as I see one, I report one to deport. Report one to deport one. Okay, period. That's my slogan. Okay, see one, report one to deport one, as many as possible. Um, these people always have disdain for us. They're anti-black, and we've never seen things through rose glasses. So therefore, we always had a realistic look on it, and we by no means are taking wooden nickels. Um, American First um, did an article and also a speech piece in the news where they were saying that how they were supporting and fully behind President Trump deportation bill and going into the schools, the churches, the playgrounds, uh, businesses, and homes, etc., to get these illegal aliens out of our country. And shout out to Donald Trump for reinstating that they are illegal aliens, not asylum seekers, not immigrants, or none of that foolishness. He put the legal term back on them because they are illegally in our country. And also, American First also said that they were returning resources back to the American people, that these people never should have had these resources and programs allocated to them. So they are turning that back over to the American people. All praises due because of that work that FBA Freedmen put in. We stumped hard. We put the issue out there. And like you said, Brother Black Alpha, yourself and Brother Marcel said it many, many months ago that how, um, is deportation over immigration and reparations over immigration. So therefore, their ears were open and peaked, and they moved on that, and they gained some validity and a little ground to vote and to garnish FBA votes and also the couch. But either way, we made the difference, and we do not share that glory or that win with no one. President Trump also pointed out that he thanked us, although he had to tag them into it. No one else helped you get that victory. We did, but we know how that goes. So I'll yield my time. Thank you, brother.
We're going to keep this focused solely on the deportation issue, but let me be very clear. That does not mean that there are not issues with this administration that I've already noticed that I've been unhappy about. But the truth of the matter is, I knew that was going to happen. You see, unlike these Democratic shills who sit there and worship and praise everything that Democrats do for other groups, by the way, they praise things that Democrats do for other groups while they do nothing to help us. Matter of fact, they do things to hurt us. I'm not that naive. I can look at anything objectively. So I can objectively say that when it comes to this issue of mass immigration, or at least illegal immigration, I completely agree with what Donald Trump is doing, even if there are other areas where I am strongly in disagreement with him. One thing that Donald Trump has done, I already touched on it, he is trying to rescind birthright citizenship. Y'all, that is a major game changer. I need to restate that. He is rescinding birthright citizenship, or he's attempting to do so for illegals. If both parents are illegal immigrants, then the child is not a citizen. Because if you read the 14th Amendment, it says that those born in the U.S. are citizens who are subject to the jurisdiction thereof. You are an illegal immigrant, meaning you are subjected to the government of the country where you are from. You are not subjected to the government of the United States of America. So two illegals who are subjected to a foreign country do not give birth to a child who is subjected to the American government. You do not. He's trying to get rid of that. He closed what was that app called? The CPB app, I believe. It was an app where people can make appointments to get a visa. They could apply for asylum, something like that. He closed that, and right away, 1 to 2 million illegals were not able to enter this country. He also returned the Remain in Mexico policy. He's already diverted like 80,000 IRS agents to the border. That's what's been stated in some news publications. Okay, he's using the military to fly illegals out of here. He's already sent 2 flights to Guatemala, and he's already sent, I think, 1 or 2 flights to Mexico. There was an administrative hiccup with the flights to Mexico. I guess him and the Mexican president, they had to have a conference because she had to clarify she's only accepting illegal immigrants who are Mexican nationals, not who are from other nations. So Mexico has been receiving some flights. So to give them credit, you know what? I'm going to give them credit because a lot of these Democratic shills were saying he's not going to do anything. He's just bluffing. No, he's been acting. He's been acting aggressively, and I love it. A great black shark, you have it.
Salute to our brother Black Alpha, brother Marcel, and all the speakers in the room. Can everybody hear me okay?
Yep, loud and clear.
Brother Marcel, I want to build on what you just said, man. You were cooking on all cylinders, and I'm in 100% agreement with that. As you said, yes, there are some good people over here that are illegals. However, the laws of this country must be obeyed and respected. And I wholeheartedly support that, because when it comes to foundational Black American freedmen, we get no passes on the most minute of infractions of the laws of this country. So those illegal aliens should have no quarter given to them. If you want to come up here the right way, like the first group of immigrants did. And a lot of them are complaining, hey, that's not fair. Joe Biden's policies letting all these people come over here through the CBP One app and so on and so forth. I put a 10-point plan up there that I would like to see initiated into law. Some people may say it's draconian, but I think it's fair. Because number one, first and foremost, and I don't know if anybody has ever said this before I got in here, when it comes to stopping this illegal immigration problem that we have, we got to factor in that this is what the white folks are going to have to come around to doing, because they don't like to punish each other, but you're going to have to lock up the business owners and the landlords that rent to and hire them. That's one way to shut that down. Then as far as taking it on the international stage, and I've seen Trump start to implement some of this. And like you said, Brother Marcel, I'm not in agreement with everything he's doing, especially when it comes to certain types of things with his racism, what have you. But this move here, getting these illegals out of the country, I'm 100% on board with that. I would go ahead and state we're going to put a freeze on all foreign aid, every bit of it. And if you have any illegal aliens over here, you bucking up talking about you're not going to take them back, cool. Here's what I propose. We permanently ban you from receiving foreign aid, okay? And then we put sanctions on you. And I guarantee you, once you start doing that to a number of them and making examples out of them, they'll stop that ridiculous foolishness, because this is the only country on the planet where people can just flood over here illegally and then be subsidized by taxpayer dollars. And see, further to your point, Brother Marcel, our ancestors, as everyone in here knows, and for the right for these people to come here, okay, and then they come here and have the nerve to practice anti-Black American racism, we are not going to stand for that at all. And there's nobody that should be against that, because if we tried to do this in other countries, they wouldn't tolerate this at all. I mean, if you're going to come to someone's country, especially claiming that you're fleeing from persecution or hardship, you would think that you would be humble. You would think that you would be respectful, but that's not what we've seen from the greater majority of them. So it's time for them to learn what happens when you bite the hand that has historically fed you, because just as we can be the most compassionate people, we can be the most indifferent people as well. And all energy as far as compassion must go towards our people. It's long overdue. And this is what we have to start doing. I'm going to say this. I'm going to land with this point. Like you said, Brother Marcel, for me, and I don't know if everybody else is in agreement with this, but for the foolish ones that are amongst us talking about they're going to hide them and help them out, when they come for you too, I'm not putting the cape on for you, because see, this is a time period where everybody should be on code when it comes to this. If you're going to put yourself at risk for people that has historically have shown that they don't want anything to do with our struggle, we all remember what Felix Tiarina said, and many others, Lulac, they said that they don't want nothing to do with what we got going on. They fought to assimilate into being white and practice white supremacy. So if that's what you want to do, well, then we need to see you handle it by yourself. All our compassion must be reserved for our people. So with that said, I'll land.
If they wanted nothing to do with what we have going on, then the 14th Amendment, which was written for Black Americans, it was written for freedmen who were recently emancipated from slavery and their descendants who are also freedmen, don't have nothing to do with that either. So I agree with Lulac. You want nothing to do with the Negro has going on. So therefore, the 14th Amendment, which was meant for us, is not meant for you. Don't try to pick and choose when you want to participate in what we have fought hard to get. So if you want nothing to do with what we have going on, stay out of the 14th Amendment that was written for us to get the damn hell out. Now, and let me reiterate, I have had students arrested before, unfortunately. When an officer comes and they ask you to help identify a student, and it happened with administrators, it happens with teachers. If we try to obstruct that officer from carrying out their duties, we can get arrested. If teachers are not obstructing an officer from arresting a child who's presenting a clear present danger to the school system or has probably committed a crime, then why the hell is a child who's in the country illegally an exception? We don't make these exceptions for no other students. There are no videos going around of teachers saying they're going to physically stop officers from arresting kids who are selling drugs. So why is it that being in the country illegally is an exception? It will not be an exception for me. And I hope Tom Holman addresses that and let those teachers and administrators know you will get arrested too. Matter of fact, you can get on that flight and get flued out the country, if you know what I mean. And to Great Shark's point, if they truly want to stop illegal immigration and even out of control legal immigration, they have to go after these corporations. That's the ultimate metric by which I'm going to measure their intentions to truly stop mass immigration. Because even out of control legal immigration is a threat to us. I want to go back to these mammies out there, and that goes for the male mammies too, talking about they're going to physically obstruct the ICE agents from doing their job. I want them to point to an example of where these illegals have physically come to the aid of Black Americans. I remember when Kamala Harris was doing a forum on the Freedmen's Bank. She did 2 forums. Both of them, she tried to give something that was meant for us to people who are not freedmen. Do y'all remember that? Do y'all recall even one of those Hispanics, whether they were white Hispanics, Afro-Latinos, whatever? Do y'all recall even one Asian, one Native American? Do y'all recall any of them standing up and saying, hey, this is for Black Americans, the freedmen. of foundational Black Americans, this is something that's owed to them. They don't even speak up for us, let alone physically stand up to protect us. I can't stand these damn mammies. And here's why I say that. It's not about how much we love what is right. We also have to hate what is not right. It is not right for them to put themselves on the line for people who will not do the same for us because they have had many, 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 many opportunities to do so. Have you seen any of these Hispanic organizations or Asian organizations outside of a few Japanese organizations? Have you seen any of them en masse go out there to advocate for us to get reparations or to get policy specific for us? Have you seen any of them go out there advocating for us? No, that's wrong. And then they work against us. So we love justice. That's why we fight for the reparations we're due. I'm trying to get Black Truth up Alpha, but it's not letting me bring him up. So I'm not sure if you see him or if it's a glitch and he's no longer requesting or up already. I don't know. Do you see him?
Yeah, I see him. I'm gonna bring you up, Black Truth. You know I got you, brother. I got to hear what you got to say on this. Let me add to what you just said right there, Marcel, as well. Let me ask the whole damn room. I'm gonna tell you how this goes. How many videos have y'all seen of police officers, or how many times in your real life, with your own eyes, have you seen police officers go into schools and assault Black American children? I've seen it my whole goddamn life. I've seen it forever. So don't let nobody tell you that these folks can't run up into school. A message to all the teachers. You go ahead and get in front of a federal agent and see what happens. You can pop all that shit on TikTok and you can say whatever the hell you want to say on the video. If you get in front of an ICE agent, you in trouble. When Tom Homan says that he'll lock up Brandon Johnson in Chicago if he get in the way, trust me, the mammy teacher is going to get her ass ran through. A lot of people are talking reckless about the Donald Trump administration. And what we've been seeing is what we've been predicting. That man ain't playing with these migrants. It ain't a game. When you sending Marines to the border, ain't nobody joking around with you. I understand that Joe Biden and Kamala Harris and the Democrats have spoiled these people. They're like brats, okay? They done came here to America. They don't have to abide by any damn laws. They're going up in luxury hotels, 5-star hotels. They're getting EBT cards with thousands of dollars. All they've done is embolden these people and turn them into little brats where they feel they can get whatever they want. Now, reality time done came in for the migrants. And to be honest with you, it's been reality for a lot of people in America. If you look right now in the United States of America, everybody's fighting each other except for foundational Black Americans. We the only ones in the room, cool, calm, and collected with style. All right, you got illegals on illegals. Democrats is fighting Democrats. You had MAGA fighting MAGA a couple weeks ago. We the only ones right here in the room chilling out, cooling, because we were the ones who've been on code and predicting every single thing that was going to happen. It's a beautiful thing when you on code with your people. And what we've been doing, the groundwork that we've been laying for the last several years, it enables us now to do exactly what we're doing. Sit back and enjoy the goddamn show. And if you got some popcorn and a cell phone, go ahead and eat your popcorn and make some phone calls to ICE because you know exactly where the hell they are. This is a beautiful time. So yeah, I'm gonna tell you this. Them people who try to stop them agents are going to get snatched up, put in handcuffs. I guarantee you that. And I got to give a lot of respect and shout outs to all of us because we delineated at the exact same time that we needed to. It's been a perfect combination, y'all. Remember this. Everything that's going on in the United States of America is about lineage, one way or another. And we got on lineage business at the exact proper time that we needed to. All of them scam Africans that been running around for years trying to Africanize us, they gone, canceled. You won't hear from them no more, all right? All the migrants talking about the people of color, won't hear from them. Minority, gone. Is it a coincidence to y'all that as soon as we canceled the term minority, the term people of color, Black and brown, is it a coincidence as soon as we got rid of those terms, you start seeing mass deportation? See, because when you're running around here tying yourself into all of these people, then you can get the same treatment that they get. We've made it clear that they not like us, we not like them. And delineation isn't something that's happening. Delineation has already happened. Let me make that crystal clear. The only people right now who hasn't got the message is a bunch of old ass Democratic shills. And when you see Ann Coulter running around here talking about foundational Black Americans, and you see all these damn Republicans and all these folks that's talking about the 14th Amendment, everybody knows it ain't no secret, y'all. Go ahead and Be in your victory, be in your glory that we have delineated from everyone. We're not delineating and waiting for them to give us a certification. We're not delineating and waiting for them to give us a pat on the head and say, okay, it's official now. Y'all have delineated. We've already done it. So therefore, since we've already been on that type of time, they can't mix us in with everybody. So the lineage-based movement is moving all across this whole goddamn planet, and everybody else has to fall in line with it. Meaning, when these people go home, we're not saving them. Meaning, when these people got to pack their bags, we're not saving them. Meaning, when they try to say, FBA, can y'all come give us a helping hand? There won't be one. So Julio got to go, Matumbo got to go, Lumbumba got to go, and anybody who wants to cape for them, they can go too. Because last time I checked, FBA, we ain't got no capes. We ain't got no capes. We ain't out here being super Negro trying to save everybody. We're being exceptional, and that's what we've always been from day one to right now at this exact minute. So yes, it is deportation time, and we're enjoying every single person I'm seeing get deported, and they can make every video pleading to us. Because remember, y'all, when they are out here trying to tell foundational Black Americans to help them, that is just desperation, and that's basically them admitting defeat. And defeat has came swiftly on them. And if you look at the top of the hill, it's the brothers and sisters, kings, queens, goddess, and gods, and they all foundational Black Americans. Let's continue to roll through the hands. Unless you had something to say, my brother Marcel, shout out to my wife, Queen Alpha. I see you down there. Lovely, lovely, gorgeous lady. Go ahead, Marcel. It's on you, family.
Yep, I want to say, if anyone's listening, you don't agree, come up and you wait in the queue on mute until your turn arrives. If you got something you want to say, because you think you got some great counters to our points, come up here. But what you're not going to do is come off your microphone and interrupt people who have waited to speak. This space is going to have order, okay? The same way we're supposed to have order at our borders, we're supposed to have order when it comes to who comes in the country. This space is going to have order. Like Alpha said, it's unfortunate that the Democrats and the Republicans have allowed illegals to come into this country, be exempt from laws that other people have to follow, have anchor babies, get thousands of dollars a year and all kinds of government assistance, send that money to their homelands, be exempt from laws that other people have to follow, and you've gotten accustomed to that, but that's not the way this space is going to work. I'm not sure what happened. Brooke was up here, but she must have got kicked down, and Boxer was up here, but I think he got kicked down. I think still up here. Brooke, please come back up. We'll get you back up if you request a mic. Black Truth, I'm still trying to get you up. I don't know what's happening. People are coming up and it seems like they're being kicked down, Alpha. I don't know. I think the space is acting up. Miriam, you've been waiting for a while. You go ahead, Miriam, and let me see what's going on.
Thank you for that, Brother Marcel and Brother Black Alpha. I also wanted to reiterate that today and yesterday, I believe it was, I don't know if it was Republican first or American first, but it was 26 Republicans held a press conference reiterating that about the 14th Amendment. And one of them in particular, well, a couple of them actually, but one in particular expounded upon the fact that the 14th Amendment was meant for FBA freedmen. He also mentioned the 13th Amendment, so we can't forget that came first and then the 14th, that it was to protect our rights as citizens, to ensure that we got things that were afforded to us for this country. So for all those other naysayers, all these POC other groups and ethnicity groups or what have you, was out there doing the most, doing all that anti-Black rhetoric and disrespect from sea to shiny sea, that did not mean protection for you because you were never a citizen. And even if you come from immigrant parents who were, even went through the national process, it still doesn't make you a citizen. So they were reiterating some of the legalities of those amendments. And I meant they put it out there, they laid it out there, and that's the one post that I had sent to you, well, the news clip that I sent to you, Brother Alpha. That was a whole conference, well, speech um, thing that they had did, and they went into the legality of it and They really did hit a lot of points, and it's 26 of them. So they're behind President Trump strong on this rescinding of rescinding of the birthright, as well as deportation. So I just wanted to add that. Thank you.
Thank you, Miriam. Alpha, I see Black Troopers up. I've been trying to invite Brooke up and Boxer Mob up as well. Boxer MOB. But I see we have Black Truth up. We're gonna let Black Truth go, then Great Shark, and then Alberta. So Black Truth, you have it.
Salute Black Alpha Network, Brother Greg Marcel, GBS, everyone else here on the stage. Just wanted to point out that there are always going to be off-code individuals, people who are scared, people who are shaking at the knees, not wanting to push for power, and coward in a cowardly manner, not wanting to call ICE, not wanting to report, not wanting to exercise power when we have it. We don't know how long we're going to have these, or this particular opportunity to call ICE, to report. So while we have it, we have to take advantage of it. So if there are 10 OFCO people, let's make sure that there are at least 4 or 5 of us contradicting what they're doing. Let's make sure that we are in our capacity doing everything that we can. As you all know, I've already reported plenty of people. I have a whole spreadsheet. I've got reports and everything. I mean, I'm making it a whole entire objective. It's almost like a side job. Sometimes I'm out and I'm looking at a truck and let me write that down. That's a new one that I haven't seen before. Man, I have a whole entire list, and slowly but surely I'm reporting all of them. Sometimes I'll do it online, sometimes I'll be on the phone. You know, it really all depends, but yeah, I'm definitely doing my part, and I encourage everyone else to do the same. So the ICE number is 866-347-2423. That's 866-347-2423. Not everyone's going to be on code, but for those who will be, make sure that you exercise your power and call ICE and call them twice. And with that, I'll end.
Appreciate that, family. Appreciate that. Yes, indeed. Good points made by everybody. The space seems like it's tripping y'all, so if you come up and it kicks you down, just try to come back on up and we'll bring you in. Y'all know how it goes, so we'll work through it and we'll keep this going. My brother, Great Black Shark, it's on you, my family.
Appreciate that, brother. You know, I want to add this, and I'm not sure if it was mentioned before I stepped into the space, but one thing I like to also see when it comes to this illegal alien or crisis that we're dealing with, thanks to Jim Crow, Joe Biden, the Democrats, and like Brother Marcel said, some of these conservative Republicans that want to exploit cheap labor. We need to bring these people up on charges of treason. That needs to be a national outcry for that, no matter what American that you are. If you were born here, if you're really patriotic, we should be calling for that. And especially any government official like the Brandon Johnsons, etc., that's talking about they're not going to cooperate. Well, this is what I would like to see happen. And we, the people, have the power to make this happen if we use our voices and get them in front of the right people in this administration that's going to act on it. Any government official, elected official that's talking about they're not going to cooperate with the federal government's mandate to protect the security of this nation, you need to be permanently removed from office, stripped of it, and we should add life sentences to that. See, once you start making examples of people that way, I know some people may find that harsh, but they'll see, okay, if I'm going to do this, is it really worth it? And look, I'll take it a step further. Brother Marcel alluded to this earlier. Hey, let's just go ahead and deport you too. I mean, if you want to join the illegal so bad, then you can go back to their countries with them. I mean, see, it's time for us to clean this up because bottom line, family, and I hate what happens to anybody as far as whether it's Lake and Riley or any of the harm or the abuses that come to those of our people. You got to understand that could be any one of us. These people, and like Brother Marcel said, it's not all of them, but it's too many. They come up here, they commit crimes, and they're harming us. even if Trump and Tom Homan, and as I call him, send him home, Tom Homan, if they do everything they can for the next 4 years straight, getting as many as they can out of here, we're going to be feeling the ramifications of Joe Biden's foolishness for the next decade or so to come. Because realistically, there's no way they can get all of them out of here in 4 years, but we can damn sure knock a dent in it. So when it comes to being on code, we need to recognize the hour of our history. And like Brother Black Truth United said, this is a time period where we need to take full advantage of every opportunity that we can to do what we can to put our people in a more protected state, because we all love our families and our communities, and we love this country more than anybody. We're the most patriotic people here, Foundation of Black American Freedmen. And one other thing I want to say is this too. The next time that we get a chance to talk to, especially anybody in this administration that's in power, any of their representatives, we have to make it known that when you talk about Black people, we need to make it known that it's highly offensive to include "and" with anybody. There is no black "and." It's always been just us. Because as Brother Marcel said, you can't point to a time that the AAPI, the Hispanic Caucus, any of these other groups have advocated for us on a government level. Hell, you can barely even, I challenge anybody to name 5 government officials outside of our lineage that has advocated for anything for us when we're being harmed. When you saw what happened to Tamir Rice, you saw what happened to George Floyd, Breonna Taylor, et cetera, et cetera. We don't see large groups of these people coming out defending us and saying, hey, that's not right. So that's the attitude that we got to have. We got to issue everybody else the same thing that they've given us. With that said, I'll land and I'll drop back down to listener.
100, brother. Cooking. Absolutely. I agree with every single thing you said, because treason is a very, very viable thing, to be honest, because what Joe Biden and Kamala Harris have done has been absolutely treasonous and criminal to the United States of America. There's no such thing as a legal illegal. So these games that they got us playing about these people coming here, it's known. It's common sense. If you come into this country unlawfully, you are a criminal. And then when you see some of the charges that these people have, if y'all been seeing all of these charges that these migrants have, they like triple, quadruple criminals. You a criminal when you came into this country, and then you break all the damn laws when you get here. So I can only sit back and see somebody who's advocating for these people in a criminal fashion as a treasonist. And that's exactly what you've been getting from the Democratic Party. And this is why the landslide election occurred. And then on top of the landslide election, this is why you're watching the whole country get on board with mass deportations. Let's make this clear. The whole country is on board with mass deportations. The only people trying to stop it are a few Democratic shills who are desperate. They're not getting anybody upset. Nobody's crying. It's just the tether class. It's the mammy class. And if you notice, they've been trying, but ain't nobody budging. So it shows you when you have all of our lineage who's really on code and really about that life, the certifieds, and we're saying, go ahead, send them home. You got MAGA saying, go ahead, send them home. And then you got a bunch of people who are just in the middle and they saying, send them home. It don't look too good for Mr. Julio Romero Gonzalez. And it also doesn't look good for Mr. Fufu Lumbumba Mutombo. They all going home and nobody's here to save them. No capes on this side. Go ahead, Brother Marcel.
I've always said, and I've been consistent, we have to go after, and this is supporting the point Great Black Shark made. We have to go after corporations and we have to go after politicians. We have to go after the people who want cheap labor. Those are the corporations. And we have to go after the people who want to replace their constituency. And those are the politicians. You see what's happening are Black Americans, the freedmen, we are waking up and we're starting to demand things. You see, they haven't seen this since the 60s. We're waking up. We're starting to say, hey, hold the hell up. How can y'all tell us you can't do anything for us, but you could do things for Ukrainians? You could do things for the Israelis. You could do things for people in various African continents, saying you're giving them $50 billion because of the legacy of slavery. We are the descendants of the people who were damn enslaved here in the United States of America. So how the hell are you giving them $50 billion? See, we're starting to notice that. That's why we stayed home. There was an article published in a newspaper in Atlanta. I forgot what it's called, y'all. The Atlanta Constitution, I believe. And it said that Kamala Harris, she just needed the Black turnout to increase by 1 to 2%. 1 to 2%. And she would have won the election. She could not do that. You see, we're waking up. We're talking about reparations. We're talking about how we've been neglected. They see that. So the Democrats are saying, oh, hell, we're going to need some people who are going to vote for us for another 60 years because of something we've done 60 years ago. You see, the Democrats had loyalty from the older generation of Black Americans, freedmen, and they're losing them too, by the way, because of what they did around the civil rights era. So now that's starting to fade. They're saying, well, we can get these illegals over here and somehow get them citizenship. And if we can't give them that, get them work visas, give them all kinds of assistance, their children will vote for us and we'll be good for another 60, 70 years. So they're trying to import a new constituency. So you got the Republicans and the Democrats who want cheap labor with the corporations, and then you got the Democrats who want to import a new constituency. Because one thing a Republican will not do is ever try to give an illegal immigrant the right to vote. But in states like California and Maryland and the DC, they're giving illegals the right to vote. How damn insulting. So we have to go after the corporations and we have to go after these damn politicians and hold them accountable. A side note, if you just come in, please retweet the space. Black Truth, Black Alpha. I'm not sure if y'all can do it. I've been trying to bring Brooke up. I've sent her an invite. I don't see Boxer MOB anymore. I don't see, I forgot the other guy's name, Mr. Chris. I don't see any of those people anymore. But some people were trying to get up, and I think they were knocked down. If y'all can try to get them up, maybe you will have more success. But Great Black Shark is absolutely right. We have to hold all of them accountable, the corporations and the politicians. Yes, let's deport the illegals. Yes, let's hold them accountable too. But let's also hold the corporations accountable, because I saw the big blow up that happened about people regarding the H-1B visas. You see, that's a form of legal immigration where they're trying to replace American workers because they want cheap labor.
Now you see what ended up happening to Vivek Ramaswamy, right? Now you see that he got fired on his day off. Shout out to my brother Dewan down there too, man. He was covering a lot of that good work. So yeah, you seen what happened. And a lot of people also haven't seen it went kind of under that. I think 18,000 Indians are going back home. They're self-deporting. The India government or whatever the hell they got over there, they all sent them people back home. They're getting ahead of it. So in terms of the international immigration migration, which is really what it's been. We've been reporting that on the Black Alpha Network for a long time. Everybody knows that Joe Biden, he actually installed one of his own puppets to work at the UN, so they controlled international immigration. So the immigration crisis that was going on right here in the United States of America was actually not just a domestic issue, it was an international issue, and the Democrats are right on the forefront. So you don't get people coming here from Africa because you know goddamn well these people at the Mexican border on the Biden Express, they were flown in here. See, the games that they used to play about the old migrant that was coming here and they was, you know, trying to take care of their kids and fleeing persecution, that's a lie. Y'all seen the videos like I seen the videos. These people was coming over here with suits on. They had cell phones. They had every goddamn thing, money, all of that. That is a well-oiled machine that, and essentially, we have stopped that based on us not getting on board. See, when foundational Black Americans don't save anybody, all of these people lose, all right? A tether's main issue is they got to steal from our plate. So when we don't let them steal from our plate, they starve. Simple as that. Their whole livelihood is based on what they can get from us. So when we simply just say no, then they don't get anything. And now they're going back home. So it's a day of reckoning. So from all the way to the UN, to the Democratic establishment, they've been putting these people in our communities. They've been flying these people into our country, and they've been giving these people the assistance that average Americans haven't got. Another thing I wanted to talk to the panel about, and anybody who wants to come up, because yes, we're having some issues. This space is janky as hell, but it's all good. One of the things also is DACA. Now, you've seen already what's going on with the whole DACA situation. Trump came in and he said, okay, well, that's going to be an issue. Remember, y'all, Barack Obama, 1 Ho, he's the person who took Dreamer from Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., foundational Black American, and he gave that to the migrants. So that is just another case of these people stealing our legacy. So if you go down the list in the pantheon, all you see is these people taking what we've created and putting their name on it. And people like Barack Obama, Kamala Harris, Joe Biden, they were just facilitating all of that. So when you see that come crashing down on them, it's a very, very good thing for us, and it's bad for them. In reality, y'all, the Democrats, they invested in the wrong people. They really did. They spent trillions of dollars to bring over a class of people that they could elevate above foundational Black Americans. And those same people came over here, and a lot of them started voting for the damn Republican. And then the Republican who's president right now, he's sending their ass back home. So you see all across the board, the people that they invested in, they're not getting their returns for. And you can base that all on us, because had Black Americans stood up and threw the case on like people would have did 30 years ago, then it may not be going down this way. But the fact is that it's going down this way because we saying nobody's coming to help none of y'all, because whenever something goes down with us, these people not just play the sideline. These people actually push against us. I don't want to hear no Mexican coming out here talking about how racist the white man's going to be to us. Mother, you racist towards us. All right. Don't point the finger at the white man. We got him solved. We know who he is. We talking about yo ass right now, Miss Ramirez. All right. Miss Ramirez knows she practices the same anti-blackness that the white person practices. There ain't no difference in terms of anti-blackness from Karen or Mrs. Sanchez. You're going to get the same anti-black racism. We know that. We expose that, and we've been calling it out. We know that the minorities who came to this country, they have been anti-black since they showed up. So the capes ain't getting put on for none of these people. And we will never send an olive branch out to them, because you already seen what they've done. Don't take their word for it, then you're going to find out. You better listen to FBA, and you would have known a long time ago.
Our Black Troop, I see you have your hand up.
I did want to add this. Some people I noticed were getting excited over a couple of hundred individuals who were deported, and they were jumping up and down, and it seemed like it just seemed like people were creating celebratory cakes and things a little too early. We have to remember that during certain periods of the Jim Crow Joe administration, there were thousands of individuals coming across the border, let alone the people that they were flying in using various apps and various illegal, operations. So we have to remember that, getting a couple of hundred people is no comparison to the amount of damage that was done. So we all have to do our part. Every one of us is from a city, a town, an area, and we all know of all the illegal people in our area. And we can all do our part to report these people to ICE, get them out of here, and allow our people to start getting those jobs, those homes, those car loans, all the things that we can't get because they're too busy giving them off, sending them off to everyone else. That's what we need to to obtain, and we can only do that after we get these people out of here, the people who are taking our slots for scholarships, for grants, for quote unquote minority programs, for farmland, for all kinds of things. We need to do our part to get these people out of here, because there's no comparison to the amount of people who have been brought in. We have to really amplify our efforts. Everyone needs to do their part. Everyone needs to lay their brick. And with that, I'll land.
Yeah, when Black Alpha first asked me, I said, I need to get those numbers up. But yeah, they're going to need to get those numbers way up before I start celebrating the actual numbers. But what I can celebrate are the actions taken thus far. I mean, if we're counting deportations, those numbers need to go way up. But we can also count how many people have been prevented from getting into the country. There were like 1 to 2 million who were about to get to come into the country who were seeking asylum. They have been stopped. Like Black Alpha said about India, 18,000 Indians in the country illegally are about to head back to India. Deportation flights have begun. But yeah, numbers have to go way up. But we've also seen videos of them Literally, I mean, they are in these large American metropolises gathering these illegals up. What I want to make sure, and I'm glad again, Tom Holman has confirmed this, the ones who have records of committing violent crimes, those are the low hanging fruit. Those are the ones that's easy to catch, easy to identify. But they are going after anyone who's in the country illegally. And I'm here for it. I am definitely here for it. Nikki DeGard, is you, then it's Sage.
Okay, I mostly just came up because I was concerned that you weren't able to pull people up, but I just wanted to let, well, you know I love you, Black Truth, already, but I wanted to let brothers Marcel and Black Alpha know that I am receiving so much education about what's happening with deportation. I haven't been getting what I need to be getting from it because I've been so busy with work the past few days. So I just wanted to say thank you because I had no idea that so much was going on with so many different groups of people. If we would not be as educated about what's happening with us if we didn't have you guys in the new Black media, Marcel, Black Alpha, and Tariq. Y'all, you guys are a godsend. Have a great day.
Sage, how are you? You have the microphone. Hey, Sage, you
Yeah,
there?
yeah, yeah. I'm sorry. I don't know if you, I'm sorry. I didn't
Okay,
know if
good.
y'all could hear me, and I had to take out my headset. Um. So, well, first of all, it's definitely a pleasure to be up on stage with you two brothers. Definitely, nice meeting you guys. I've never really spoken to you guys before, but I do want to say that since Donald Trump has been in office, um, it's been a different world out here. Um, Again, I've heard. I don't know if it was my brother. Black Truth United said that no, it was Great Black Shark. He said that certain mayors are going to stand up against the whole deportation that Tom's send them home in is going to implement throughout the country, which is cool. I do agree that they should be brought up on federal crimes as well as Eric Adams. I think Eric Adams has learned his lesson here in New York, and I don't think that he's gonna really go against the deportation methods that Trump is gonna install. But my question is, because this was brought up earlier, Eric Adams has been on the news in New York saying that he wants to concentrate specifically on the criminals that have came to this country. And I want to propose a question. When has it become legally lawful to cross a border and stay in a country when you're not invited? So that means that everyone that has crossed that border uninvited is a criminal. Every single one. Don't hit me with the better life. I'm pretty sure, um, everyone in this space wants a better life. Every single person. I can ask my mom, I can call her and ask her if she wants a better life. My grandmother, she wanted a better life. My grandfather, he wanted, everyone wants a better life. Excuse my language. So don't hit me with the better life talk. I think that's very, what I think a better life is that, we want to take your resources and bring them back to our country. There's a video that I don't know. I know Black, you shared it. There's a video of a Haitian brother that's in the back of an ice truck saying that he's not going back to Haiti. Now that will be the person on this space that has a Haitian flag in his bio. A lot of these people come out here with Haitian flags and different types, not just Haiti, all types of flags, but they don't want to be sent back to their country. Why do you have a Mexican flag and afraid to go back to Mexico? If you're that patriotic, why don't you go there and do that? And the sad part is that when we greeted these people in the beginning, we greeted them with so much love and affection. We actually looked out for them. Sorry, yeah, we actually looked out for them to a fault. New York has been big on Pan-Africanism. We've been big on, you are my brothers, we all brothers, we were big on that. And when we realized that that was not reciprocated from them, that's when we pulled back. But now that we pulled back, we're the bad guys. So I like being a bad guy. I like being a villain. I'm Black. I've been a villain all my life. So I will continue being the villain, and we will come out victorious as the villains when it's all said and done. Because again, like my post I put out the other day, to all of my deportables, keep your head up. It's gonna get better for you, and maybe if y'all take some of the stuff that y'all learned while y'all was over here illegally, maybe y'all can create someone like a Malcolm X, someone like a Dr. King, someone like a Medgar Evers, someone like that can stand up in your country and make things possible for you guys.
Sage, now you know you got to say it, brother. New York got to hold this win.
Here you go. Moving on to, again, back to you guys. Again, I take my hat off from the King Day incident. Marcel, I know you had it in with Marianne Williamson. I know you had it in with Jim Crow. Not Jim Crow. James Clyburn. But again, I take my hat off to you guys. Black Alpha going to the scene of the race massacre that happened. I believe that was in Florida, if I'm not mistaken. Again, I take my hat off to you guys, and that's what inspires me to get out and not just run 12-hour spaces, but actually meet with these elected officials and get agendas pushed forward and get them on the record. That's what we're doing this for. I want all of these New York elected officials, assembly members, senators, everyone needs to be on the damn record on who's on our side and who's not. Because if you're not on our side, fine, not a problem. But I need you on the record saying that you're not on our side. That way, when the elections come up next year, your ass is on the ballot, and we know now that you're not on our side. So that's what this whole thing is about. Of course, I've been following up, and we will continue to follow up with them about pushing this anti-Black hate crime bill. But again, it's not just something that Sage is doing, it's something that the entire family is pushing. So again, I take my hat off to everyone. Everyone in the space. So much love to everyone. Again, I'll definitely send more information if needed. Yes, send me, like I said, send me a tweet, send me a DM. Yeah, peace to the family.
Yeah, see, you said a lot, but it all wasn't made sense. One, yeah, I don't mind being the villain. I'm the villain. When it comes to this mass immigration issue, yeah, I'm the villain. When it came to not supporting the Democrats, yeah, I'm the villain. I'll be the bad guy. I don't mind. Because, in some cases, the bad guy's right. Kind of like with Magneto and the X-Men. His methods are questionable, but his reasoning, he's actually right. He's actually always proven right. They try to do things Professor Xavier's way, and it always blows up in their face. And every glimpse into the future that the X-Men get is always a dystopian future where mutants are being mass slaughtered. So Magneto's always proven right. So yeah, I'll be the bad guy. I'm good with that. And you're right. I want to focus on criminals too. I want to focus on the criminals too when it comes to illegal immigration. All of them are criminals. Every day you wake up, you've committed another crime. If you've been in this country illegally for 12 years, that means for 12 years you've been committing crimes. Get the hell out, or we put you in prison. So yeah, I'll be the bad guy. I'm cool with that. I'm absolutely okay with that. I found a way to invite people, y'all. You can actually send them a link directly. That's how I was able to get Sepia up. That's how I was able to get Head and Shoulders up. So anyone who's trying to get up, I'm going to say it again. Please state that in the what they call the purple pill, and I will see it. Just leave a comment saying you're trying to get up, and I will bring you up. Some people have issues. They take issue or they take umbrage with what we're saying up here. I've been telling them to come up and speak, and then they get quiet. Please don't be a coward. Someone was like, well, how does this get us closer to reparations? Did you not hear me say how a lot of these illegals and their children that they bear are the most vigorous against our reparations debt that we're owed? We get rid of them. We have less people to fight now to get our reparations. We have less bigots to fight on a day-to-day basis outside of reparations. That's how it gets us closer to reparations. And then some other people were saying, oh, Lord, they're going to take away our rights. No, they're not. Trump is not trying to get rid of the 14th Amendment. He has never said to get rid of the 14th Amendment. What he has said, and this is where I agree with him, is that the 14th Amendment has been interpreted incorrectly. And he's absolutely right. The 14th Amendment, listen, if you are a freedman, meaning you are a descendant of the people who were emancipated from American slavery, we should be the most offended. They are taking something that was meant to protect us, and they gave it to invaders who come to this country and think they're better than us. look down on us while benefiting from our sacrifices. What Trump is saying is that the 14th Amendment was not meant for people who are the children of two parents who are in America illegally, because they are not subjected to the jurisdiction of the American government. Listen, y'all, when a diplomat comes to America, let's say someone from France, an ambassador of France comes to America and they have a child, that child of theirs is not an American citizen, even though that child was born in the United States of America. Do you know why? It's because that child is subjected to the jurisdiction of the French government. They're not subjected to the jurisdiction of the American government. Do you know that they had to pass a bill in Congress for Native Americans to get American citizenship? Yes, they had to do the Citizenship Act. I believe that's what it was called. Prior to that, and that was passed in the 1920s, Native Americans were not American citizens. They were just citizens of their nation states that were located in the United States of America, but were not under the jurisdiction of the American government. It took a congressional act for Native Americans to get American citizenship, even though they were having children in the United States of America. That proves right there that simply having birth to a child in the United States of America does not make you an American citizen. It does not. So I agree with Trump. Trump has never said, let's get rid of the 14th Amendment. Those words have never left his mouth. He's never even implied he wants to get rid of the 14th Amendment. He has simply said it's being misinterpreted, and it is. And in that case, I agree 100% with him. I don't care how racist or how anti-Black American some of his followers might be. I don't care. If they are in alignment with me in this issue, then they are just in alignment with me on this issue. I will fight them to death on other issues. But in this issue, if they feel that the 14th Amendment does not apply to children of two illegal, then they are right. I like pepperoni pizza. I like sausage pizza. If an anti-Black American bigot likes sausage pizza and pepperoni pizza, that doesn't mean I like them. It just means that we happen to both agree on something. So deal with it.
You said something that was very interesting. First of all, you said why are we fighting so hard to get rid of these people that are illegal? I live in New York City, and a lot of foreigners, I guess they're not illegal anymore. A lot of foreigners are against reparations, specifically for the foundational Black American freedmen. So if we get them about the paint and their next of kin about the paint, or excuse me, their next generation about the paint, that will strengthen our issues. That will strengthen our ties. So that's a positive. I don't see where that would be a negative. The sad part about this is that these people come from other countries and they're against us. I don't see why they would feel that we need to fight for them when they truly know that they are against us. And lastly, I will propose a question, and anyone can answer this. Um, we've had now what 46, 47 presidents. Which president was not racist? That's one. And yes, I said which president, yes, that includes Barack. Which president was not racist? That's one. And two, Lyndon B. Johnson, I believe that he passed the most comprehensive civil rights laws in American history. Was he not a staunch card carrying Klan member himself? So why do you think that we care about someone's being racist towards us? My question is, who isn't? And with that, I'm gonna land.
Exactly. Hell, Obama was one of the most racist presidents we've had in modern times. This man will go to HBCU graduations, go to some of our brightest people and say to them, pull up your pants. Be a good father, even though most of them probably didn't even have a child. And if they had children, how dare him assume they are not caring for their children when study after study, some that had been conducted during his presidency, show Black fathers are the most involved. So you're right. You see, we got to get this personal feelings out of politics. Politics is about working with people. A lot of these politicians can't stand each other, but you will never know that. They'll sit down and work with each other. The Democrats were telling us that Trump was an existential threat against the United States of America. They're shaking, having lunch with him, having a good old time, while they were telling us to write off relatives and write off friends if they supported him. So if we can get a sit down with Trump, I bet you we can get lineage specific policies. I don't want to go too far off topic, but I bet you we could. That's a whole topic for another space. But I bet you we can get a sit down with Trump, because Trump essentially is a businessman, and he loves to sit down and talk about deals and come up with good deals. That's a topic for another space. But where he already has me sold is when it comes to deporting these illegals here. Now, I disagree with Trump when it comes to legal immigration. The H-1B needs to be done away with. We have plenty of talented Americans. If they don't know how to do a particular job, we need to invest in and train them to do the job. That's what we do with these legal immigrants that come here. We have to train them. So why not train Americans and pay them a fair damn wage? And let's build up America.
Much respect, brother. Much respect. Appreciate you. Appreciate everybody. I want everybody to think about this. This time a year ago, you had migrants coming into the United States of America by the millions, all right? And we were facing perhaps Joe Biden or Kamala Harris getting another 4 years and having a couple more million come in. So I want you to see the difference between then and now. Don't let nobody tell you we haven't got a victory with this situation. You're literally talking about, as we speak, mass deportations all across the United States of America. We could easily be sitting here right now with Kamala Harris cackling while you seen Julio walking right by you, but it ain't the case. That is because we all got on code. We got on code politically and socially. This is why I said the election day, that was one of the biggest victories that we've had in a long time. The very fact that they kept coming out and trying to say it was because of everybody else, that right there shows you that they were scared. They tried to scare foundational Black Americans on the plantation, and they ended up getting scared in the process. Everybody's afraid of us. Every single thing we do, it pumps fear in the hearts of all of the establishment, all the tethers, all the migrants, because they understand by us getting on code and positioning ourselves in the right direction, we can literally change the discourse of the United States of America. Family, when you talk about a mass deportation, you're literally talking about changing the demographics of this country. And to add it up even further, as we sit here and we talk about all the different avenues of what's going on, y'all seeing right now, they running up on Indian reservations, because we didn't forget that they was trying to say that foundational Black Americans was being racist to them a year ago. I did a whole broadcast on it. Yes, so did my brother Tariq. Remember, y'all, they was coming out saying how they were being attacked by Black Americans. We were sitting there like, what the hell are they talking about? But that's what they were doing. But let me tell you what's going on. They're saying they're being racially profiled. Christy Nome, who, if I'm not mistaken, is the Homeland Security Deputy or whatever. We seen her in Savannah, me, Marcel, both of us. And she was talking about how a lot of those illegals are seeking refuge on Indian reservations. So Donald Trump, Tom Homan, they done ran up on them Indian reservations, and they done found all of those illegals that been hiding behind Mr. Tonto. So you had Julio hiding behind Tonto, and now they both got to go. It's as simple as that, y'all. It's easy work like a part-time job. This is what goes on when you really get on code and you focus and you stand on Lineage's business. So you're seeing every single thing occur. They thought Donald Trump was playing with this mass deportation, and apparently he's not. Tom Homan right now, you see how he came out and he said, we're going to send the families home. Y'all remember, go back to 2016, 2019, when they were saying they was putting kids in cages, and what about the parents and what about the families? And now they said simply, we'll send all of their asses home together. It's common sense. This immigration situation is not really complex, and it's not that much for people to figure out. You can see all day, you come to this country illegally, then you broke the law, you break the law, you get your ass sent back home. Finally, we have some common sense in the building. Had Black Americans been out here throwing the cape on for the Democratic Party, we wouldn't be in this situation. We went from a border czar that was running around here cackling in every interview, washing her collard greens in the bathtub and trying to give these people a position on the Freedmen Bureau, to now you got a border czar who's saying everybody's going home. That go from grandma all the way to mom, all the way to the damn baby. And by the way, How bad of a mother can you be if you walk your kid through a goddamn desert, pass your kid off 17 different times to cartel members? Are y'all really sitting here having any sympathy for these illegal immigrant mamas? Don't sit here and tell me that you got sent home and that's bad. A black American would never put themselves in a situation where they would have to be separate from their damn children. These folks walk through that damn desert with their kids, swimming across polluted goddamn lakes, pass the baby off to the cartel number 2, 3, 4, 5, and then get here and say, I got to go home, but my baby can stay. Nope, both your asses can go home. And then if you think that that baby's gonna come here and you're gonna come in the last week of your pregnancy and have your child behind a Ramada Inn and say, that's an American, nope, now they saying that baby gotta go. So it's as simple as this. Everybody in the United States of America wants foundational Black Americans to lend our support to them, and we're just not going for it. My brother Tariq, he did a great broadcast the other day, and he talked about how they have to make us the face of all these other groups, because all these other groups, they don't have any real legitimate struggle. Let's go there, y'all. They don't have no real legitimate struggle. Don't come into this country and break the law and compare that to civil rights. They only care about foundational Black Americans when they can benefit off of us politically. I always tell people they want to stand away from us socially, but they want to be lumped in with us politically. The same person who don't want nothing to do with us out here in the real world, they want to be lumped in with us on a political fashion so they can get all the tangibles, the benefits, and the resources that are meant for us. Now, not only have we taken away them trying to steal our ancestors' history, they also tried to steal our present and our kids. We took all three of those, the trifecta, and we brought it back home. And every single thing that we've created will stay in this house. Family, look at the way America changes when we got on lineage-based business. I'm talking about lineage politics, sociology, economics, education. Every single thing we do when it's lineage-based, that's got these folks against the ropes. So everybody talks about how the United States of America is real divided and everything. Well, it looks like a lot of people are unified with mass deportations. What's really uniting America more than mass deportations right now? Seems like everybody's on board with it. America seems like it's cool. So I don't really know who's going to come save Mr. Julio Romero Gonzalez. I don't know who's going to save Mr. or Mrs. Fufu. All right, I just don't know. Don't forget them neither. All right, the tethers of color, the TOCs, every last one of them is afraid. And not just because we're not putting on the capes, but they're also looking at every single other community, and everybody is fed up. So it's going to be real. We're going to sit here and we're going to watch all of these videos. Look at what you've seen in 5-6 days and compare that to the last 5-6 years. There's a big difference. So the more we get on board with this and the more we sit back and watch, it's a lovely thing. I always tell people, family, we can stand on business by sitting on the couch or picking up your phone and calling these people. And speaking of calling these people, I see my brother Black Truth United. Can we get that number one more time? Because I know my brother be having that on speed dial, family. Can we get that ICE number, brother?
Yes, sir. That's 866-347-2423. That's 866-347-2423.
Don't
And
delay, call quick today.
yes, sir. And
Okay.
and
Oh,
here's a
Are people still being paid, Marcel and Black Alpha,
I
$1,000
don't think that's been passed. Some states have proposed a payment for a bounty, but I don't think it's been passed in either state. Missouri and Mississippi have proposed paying people to report anyone in the nation illegally, but I don't think it's actually passed yet. So that's something we have to be on the lookout for. On Black Troop United, I think you were trying to say something. We have Sepia, then we have Head and Shoulders, and we have Eric Johnson, Black Vanguard, and we get back to Miriam.
Yes, indeed. Yeah, just wanted to add a quick tip for those who are reporting, especially online. You know, ICE is primarily targeting those who are quote unquote threats, more so like violent offenders, who are actively committing crime, who are also illegal, because it's like a double whammy. So when you go to report inside of the ICE form, they give you a whole entire selection of things to report. And let's say that there's an Asian massage parlor, quote unquote, report that in addition to the fact that they're illegals. And from what I've heard, and I haven't seen it in my particular area yet, but from what I've heard, they are much faster at getting to those requests rather than just what I typically put in there, which is, illegally in this country, breaking immigration laws or whatever. But they do have those options there on the ICE form online, and that's in the Jumbotron. I also threw Black Alpha's Cash App in the Jumbotron as well. But anyway, yeah, let's go to the hands. I think it's Sepia, unless someone else had something to add.
Nope, it's Sepia. And I do want to say they are prioritizing those who have committed violent offenses, but that was bothering me. I'm like, they're all crooks. But Tom Homan said, if you're in the country legally, we're coming for you. And that really made me feel good. I was like, I want them all going. So, okay, yep, Sepia, you have it.
Wait, real quick, before we get to Sepia, 1 second, family. Let me add this, y'all. With all of these bounty hunter programs and these legislation that they're starting presenting, we need to, as a community, get on board with that. Okay, that can be calling up people, that could be coming up with a petition, that could be going to talk to some politicians in your local area, because once they see that Black Americans are behind that, not putting on capes, not defending these people, we're behind that, that's going to only give them even more momentum to push this legislation. Let's not sit back and just wait for them to sign it with our fingers crossed. Let's start hitting these people up and let them know, if you want to have a bounty hunter program where you drop in the bag, you got a friend in me, where I need to be at, because I'll get a stack, family, and we'll be in this damn thing counting money. So I know for a fact in Georgia, we're going to get some things pushing and whatnot. Buddy Carter, if you're listening, you know me, I met you in Savannah. We're going to go ahead and we're going to do some business, and we're going to talk, and I'm going to let you know you got a whole bunch of Black Americans who are absolutely supportive of that program. And if you need any type of help or assistance in getting that pushed through, holla at your dog. All right, Sepia, it's on you, family. I apologize for interrupting.
Oh, no, it's all good, brother. Shalom, shalom to the room, and peace be upon our ancestors. And Brother Alpha and Marcel, to y'all's point about the anchor babies, I just want to say this, which is a legitimate fact. If you have a citizen, a natural citizen woman who commits a crime, goes to prison pregnant, has a baby, she does not get to keep that baby. And we're talking about natural citizens. So why should some illegal alien cross over and then, try to get citizenship, or at least try to get citizenship to the child? I'm with Tom Homan 100%, deport them as a family. And as far as the whole villain thing, I have something to say to all y'all about that. We need to embrace villainy. I love being the villain. My favorite Marvel character is Venom, and that is an alpha Venom. So you goddamn right. I don't mind being a Venom. I mean, well, I don't mind Venom, but I don't mind being the villain either. Especially when it's against injustice against us. And Black Alpha, I would try to add to the illegal immigration thing, but Tuesday and Friday, you dissected the dissection. So there's not much more I can add to that. And trust me, we do put in our money. Not only do someone like me support the Black media across the board, that includes you, Alpha. Marcel, I've supported you. I'm a loyal patron to GBS, and I also support my Israelite brethren. But that being said, whenever someone's trying to throw salt on us like that, because that's putting targets on our backs, we need to get ahead of that, and we need to address that aggressively. And furthermore, as far as this 14th Amendment thing, people need to understand we need to check people on that. Just like what Black Alpha was saying, we need to check people when they use the black and. Well, we need to check people whenever they try to talk about the 14th Amendment. The 14th Amendment that was drafted and passed by Republicans, by the way. Not throwing on the cape for the Republicans, because I'm with Marcel. I don't trust them either. But they are the ones who passed the 14th Amendment to give legal citizenship to the descendants of the freedmen, the ones that were enslaved. It didn't say, oh, we're going to preemptively look ahead 100 years and give, citizenship to some illegal alien. It wasn't preemptive like that. It was talking about us exclusively, point blank, period. So, we need to emphasize that. And we also need to check these terrorists whenever they continue to try to, speak of themselves inclusively to FBA/freedmen. There's no our, there's no us, there's no we. So whenever they're trying to speak about our issues, they can say y'all, you all, you people. They can say that, but don't include themselves in it because I'm quick to check that.
Okay, thank you. Heads and shoulders.
Hey everybody, shout out to Black Alpha, Black Truth, Greg Marcel, Nikki the God, the Black Receipt, Eric Johnson, Sage, and everybody else in the stage. I typically have listened to you all speak over the last year plus and a little bit before for others. So I just started getting on Twitter Spaces so that I could start contributing. So first and foremost, before anything else, as Black people, let's not forget about science and technology, and always to talk to our kids about that and push them toward it. Because while we fighting off this supremacy, we need to go ahead and keep on two fronts. Make sure that our kids are being pushed into that area, because sometimes we get a little bit distracted by life, the other economic issues and everything else that's on us. But we got to put our kids in that area. Now, getting to this point about deportation, I can say proudly for a fact I know exactly one person I called up on their behind. I was about to say something else on their behind, and they got deported. It was somebody else, and if what you said was true, Black Truth, I added on that form marriage fraud because this person was an older woman that was a few years older than me, and she was offering me thousands of dollars some years ago. And I still got her contact information, knew where she lived. So I'm like, hey, I'm not in that area, but I know some people there. They confirmed they got her behind up out the paint. And I said, okay, cool. But I called up on her in that on that form right there that I posted also on my profile. It does have a form where it says marriage and fraud. So if that's the reason why they went faster, that explains it. So if you guys know anything about uh, anything else other than them just being an illegal, that will help them kind of scurry on. And then as far as this, what I've been doing is if I see somebody and suspected illegal, they kind of got a heavy, thick accent. They got some other janky things. We kind of know what they are. I saw a Haitian illegal today at a McDonald's. I was getting some water, and I was in the middle of the workout getting some water in there, and I saw him pull up. He just got in front of the door haphazardly in a fire area. And so I just kind of went back outside while I was waiting for the people to come up there, and I started doing some toe touches and everything. I got the license plate, got the make and model of the vehicle, and I passed it on to one of my family members that knows how to look that up. I'm like, look, we about to figure out what this person, the vehicle owner and everything, and we gonna call up ICE on them and get them up out the paint. I'm not playing. And then as far as me, I got fired at one of these corporations, Berry Plastic, and using one of their apps. Sorry to call out the name. You might want to bleep that out later. But I got fired because one of the people accused me of saying that they hired illegals. Now, I'm telling you, we needed our social security number. We needed all this other identifiable information in order to even go through that process to even get hired there. Yet they had a whole bunch of Haitians that could not read English or barely could read English. They're asking me for help doing that. That's when I asked one of them, and they had like some translation app. I was like, are you here legally? And I guess that's what they said that I said the company. So I'm like, look, I'm trying to figure out what information I need to put together to make sure they get sued because I'm on a vendetta. They have destroyed my livelihood at that time, and they got me up out the paint. And come to find out, those people that were there, I know several of them because I got their contact information. They're in Haiti right now. Some of them self-deported. So that means they were illegal. That means I do got the evidence for them. And that means these people were having people. But as we all know, as Trump had those immigrants before, whether they were legal or not, they use these third-party apps so that they can shift the responsibility. But in that case, the app holder, you need to be arrested. Whoever's owning that app, whoever the CEO and whoever that is, they need to be arrested. And then last point, and then I'll land. After we get these illegals out, and I think realistically, I think only about 10% of them will be out during the presidency, unless they can do higher than that, because I'm judging it off of the past and deportations. But they might be able to do higher than that. I think only 10%, but that's still a sizable number. We need to get these foreign corporations out the paint, because in Chicago, I think it's a Spanish company that owns all of the parking meters, and none of the money, no tax money, goes to the citizens at all. None to the city. So it's all of this money just going out. They up it where beaches used to be free, and yet people are getting charged. That's the same thing with toll roads. That's everything there. There's so many different things where all of these foreign organizations and foreign people are owning these things. And that's being set by because there's so many of these, quote, migrants, immigrants, legal and illegal, because some of them are, quote, dreamers. They get into these political positions and then they do favors for then their cousins or something in other countries. So I just wanted to add that to everybody's mind.
Yeah, I've kind of brought that point up before when it comes to holding corporations accountable. Even Trump used this excuse. They'll say, well, we hired them through a third party. We use an agency to hire them. Well, then you need to hold the person who's in charge of that agency accountable. And as far as how many illegals they can deport, you don't have to deport a whole lot. You can just make things so uncomfortable here that they leave themselves. If you go after these corporations and make it hard for them to get a job, as it should be impossible for them to get one, they will leave themselves. If you make it to where you have to prove you are a citizen before you're able to rent or buy a home, they will leave themselves. So we don't have to deport all however many millions of them are here. You can just make it so uncomfortable that they will not be able to survive here and they will leave. I just want to bring that point out right there. Next we have Eric.
All right, then I go. I ain't gonna be too long. This whole deportation process should have been done a long time ago. And as you can see in the jumbotron, I did put something up there for the African tethers. This deportation process is definitely a a come up for a lot of y'all. See, y'all talk about your homelands and y'all countries being so great. Well, you can use all the power and the small bit of resources that you have in your homeland to get those white women out of your village. But the moral of the story is the deportation is definitely a come up for the Black American community. And once they add the cash money to it, they're just extra icing on the cake. So, real brothers and real sisters are going to be out there getting that money by any means necessary. And, I don't really hear a lot of these tethers talking real big and bold like they was a couple of months ago. They done got real quiet. So, they probably in hiding right now trying to blend in. Some of them probably trying to bleach their skin to be white folks. They can't use the same process like they was doing back in the day by marrying old white women and stuff. They can't use the green card. I gotta marry an American woman or American man. Hell, they'll try to stay in the country by any means necessary. So, the delineation process is definitely a come up for us in the Black American community. And I just want to thank Brother Black Alpha Network, and definitely you, Brother Marcel, because you do have a lot of people within our own community that don't even want to call ICE, let alone even give the information out on these illegal aliens. Because I'm gonna land my plane right there and let everybody else speak.
Thank you, Eric. Black Vanguard.
Yeah, shout out to Black Alpha Never, Marcel, the Black Truth, everybody. See, today I put in the Jumbotron about you had the 33 Angel Empowerment Congress thing, a whole bunch of Black Boule, a whole bunch of Democratic shields. So I confronted Assembly Member Isaac Bryan in that I put in the Jumbotron. So he was trying to act like we forgot about his reparations. Then they did a whole bunch of fear mongering, but they did a whole bunch of fear mongering stuff. So Trump, it got rid of DEI and all that stuff, though. I said we don't care about that. Then the other person confront, he's Marquise Herod Dawson. He's the president of the Los Angeles City Council. He's the same person that was capable for Kevin DeLeon, that racist. He appointed him to a proposition in the Los Angeles City Council, and then people campaigned and got him up out the paint. So he lost his re-election campaign. So he's out of here. So I confronted him. Then they started saying we all in this together. So no, you ain't, because Trump, he gonna put federal charges against these Black Democrat elected officials that's in Central City states, so they're running skewered. Now the California Let's Stay Black Caucus, we told them in California is that if you don't pass the reparations, the Democrats gonna lose the election. And look what happened now. They lost the election now. Now they trying to garnish the black grassroots support because Trump is about to come after them. Then you had the Hispanics talk about the black and brown shut them down. I'm talking about there is no such thing as a Black Power Coalition. These other groups historically never stood where it's like the LULAC organization, like our good bird Tyree said. So these people are not our allies. I'm glad we not putting on the case for them though. But shout out to the family though too. But I'm letting you know that I'll pull up on Isaac Bryan and a couple of these elected officials though too. It's in the jumbotron for y'all want to see it. Thank you for allowing me to speak.
Thank you to Black Vanguard, the Black Receipt.
Shout out to Black Alpha, Marcel, Black Truth. Man, it's a whole lot of black excellence and black magic up in here. So many pots cooking. I don't know which one to dip in first. Lord. So I'm gonna start out with the deportation. I just want to say this is a benefit towards us, and we must prepare ourselves to take over some of these industries that uh are gonna be kind of left up to chance after this, because uh some of these restaurants, like the other day I went up to the McDonald's, you know what I'm saying? It was full of essays the other day. Now it's a whole lot of young black Americans, and it made me smile. It made me smile inside. Cause unfortunately, by all these immigrants and other people coming into our communities, they take the entry level jobs away from a lot of our youth, and that leads them to being stuck in the streets and finding other methods and ways to earn money, because we all know we live in a capitalistic system. We idolize money to a certain extent, and you can't get nowhere without money. So if you leave them up to chance, they gonna do what they have to do to earn some type of living. And this is a good thing that they gonna be gone. These construction jobs, if you work in any of these industries, instead of putting your back into it, start putting your stuff in order, so you become a general contractor and take over some of these contracts that the government gonna be offering, because we gonna have to rebuild this and upgrade a lot of this infrastructure that uh has unfortunately been outdated for years. We see the problem in Flint. So we have so many bright minds across the country. It, it's no reason why we can't put them all together and bring these small towns back up and up to a point of standard where it's equal to a lot of modern places in a lot of major cities, instead of bringing like the major city feel to these areas, because that's one reason why they in the rural area for a reason, because they want to be somewhat separate away from a lot of this city joker life, as we say. So if we could just combine a lot of these different status of people within our community, and just our arms of different communities within uh the black American family, then yeah, we gonna survive like we always have, and we can position ourselves in a place where we can finally control the the black people that come here, and we can make sure that we vet them properly and know that they are allies, instead of these tethers continue to come into our country and usurp the things that we have fought for and our ancestors have fought for years. Cause this being a world humanitarian, this shit, them days is over with. Everybody coming to the picnic, getting the plate. No, you got to be verified, and that's more than just proving that you down with what we down with. You gotta truly be an ally if you coming into our communities, because all these ops and fake coalitions, it has proven that it has got us nowhere but and us continue to be a stepping stone for other people's greatness, or for them to dilute our flavor and make their own versions of that don't nobody even want, because they still run back and look at what we doing. I'm just glad we haven't had an interruption from none of these tea and crumpets people, or these excuse my language, because man, this is the only day I can say I haven't had a headache and had to argue with somebody today. And it's a beautiful thing. I just want to say, hey, I love y'all. If ain't nobody else telling y'all that, goddamn me, Black America.
Thank you, the Black Receipt. A Black Truth. I see you have your hand up. Then there's Blunty King.
Yeah, just wanted to touch on something that the Black Receipt mentioned, as well as Brother Head and Shoulders. The What the Black Receipt mentioned was that he walked into a McDonald's and there were brothers and sisters working there instead. We don't know whose lives we're impacting by calling ICE and sending reports in. There are individuals who have been just waiting for a basic opportunity. You know, people sitting up with a resume from high school or college, just trying to get some kind of entry level position to be a secretary, whatever it is. And those spots are taken and completely restricted from our people because they're being filled with people who are here illegally. So calling ICE is gonna get these people out of here. And what Brother Head and Shoulders shared was very sickening. It's like a nightmare scenario, but it's something that we all need to learn. It's a Sadly, a lot of our people are a little too kind for our own sake, and we don't react soon enough. We need to prevent that scenario from ever happening again. The brother, losing his job, and illegal aliens are allowed to remain, working there. That's just absolutely ridiculous. And they had more rights and more privileges, it sounds like, than the actual U.S. citizens. So, it's very important to report. Anytime you get an opportunity, anytime you see something, you don't know whose life you're impacting. And with that, I'll land.
Okay, Blunty King.
Thank you, Marcel. I appreciate. Can you hear me?
Yep, loud and clear.
Yes. Thank you for inviting me to the space. I appreciate it. I'm calling out of London, England, and I just wanted to say, what you guys are doing is actually the Lord's work, because a lot of these tethers and a lot of these immigrants, like Brother Sage said, are might actually go back there once they're sent back and actually contribute to the nations that they came from, and might actually have to answer for crimes that they committed while they were over there in the first place. So some of them might be responsible for sowing discord amongst their groups, and then they immediately press the panic button and flee to the United States after they've caused chaos in their own countries. So yeah, I agree with it 100%. And with that, I land. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Eric. Oh, well, Sepia, back to you. Well, Sepia, back to you. Then Eric, then Boykin.
Thank you again, Brother Marcel. And I guess I want to speak to, I guess it was the black, one of those, to their point about we would be able to sustain ourselves without the help or the labor, cheap albeit, from these illegal aliens, because Black Alpha could probably be a witness to this, or at least attest to this, that I was a customer of the Better Buggy, which is based out of Georgia, for about a good year and a half before they were forced to shut down. They were able to come back into business, and then I had, resubscribed to them, and they had to shut down again. It was the government going after them because the Better Buggy was probably the best distribution form in America. And I put that against all ethnicities and races. There was nothing better than a Better Buggy. And then not only that, we also have another Georgia-based black-owned business called Spring Break Watches, and they have upgraded their game. They're now selling out of Nordstrom's, Macy's, even Kohl's, for the ones that can't afford it, or the um, higher end brands. I bought my girl a watch from um, again from the Spring Break watches, and theirs was sold out of Nordstrom's. So it's not like we can't do this, and we've demonstrated it in the past. I mean, everything pre-Red Summer. I mean, Sweet Auburn again in Georgia. That other little community that they in Georgia again that they took down, that they burned it down, and they built the University of Georgia on that former black development out there. Ocoee, Florida, and we've all discussed, Black Wall Street, Tulsa, Oklahoma ad nauseum, you know, Allenville, California, Bruce's Beach, California. We have a proven and undefeated track record, just like Black Alpha says, going back to him. Our victories don't look the same because we're not the same. We have shown that we could get it out the mud and make something out of nothing. So don't let these white supremacists, scare y'all with who's going to pick your strawberries, who's going to do this, who's going to do that. Because guess what? Them being sent out of here could be the resurrection for, and I have a personal investment, emotional in this, the Better Buggy or other businesses like that. So, like I said, you're the brother that was talking about the McDonald's thing. He is absolutely correct. Yeah, it might be kind of, slow moving at first for us, might be some growing pains, but we'll get there. We've done it many times before. That's us, that's in our DNA, that's in our veins, in our blood, in our mental, in our spirit. And we just got to keep it there. And I would be remiss if I didn't, give credence to the Most High, because what happened over the past, I would say 10 years, has definitely been divine intervention. We couldn't get it done without him. And now it's our place down here on the Black Street to maintain that and to build on that. Alan.
Thank you, brother. I think Eric Johnson was next.
Oh yeah, I just wanted to say something about the young men and women working at the McDonald's and these local restaurants. I could tell you that 75% and 85% of the time the ice cream machines will be working. So besides that, when I got out of school in 2012, I'm 30 years old now. Um, I came up off of work programs so kids can learn how to do jobs and end up being something once they get out of school. Because a lot of these kids that get out of school and get a high school diploma, they might not have a chance to go to college, and you do need jobs like that that can give them a start in life, because they still probably still they're most likely still in a learning moment when it comes to them being a young man or a young woman, and them developing a set of skills to get better jobs. So once you get these illegals out of these situations and actually give them a chance to get back into their environment within their countries to do something better, besides just waving their flags and having all these celebrations in American soil, but you waving your country's flags, but you're not in your country actually celebrating with your people. I would just like to see real brothers and sisters get back to doing those type of jobs, especially the younger kids too, because you do have. I grew up doing stuff like that with my grandparents, and it's just a shame that some of these kids don't have a chance to do stuff like that anymore with their family members, because there's not a lot of opportunities out there. So I definitely do love this deportation momentum that we are getting. I definitely wanted to keep going and going. I wanted to keep going for Valentine's Day. I do want to see couples, back in their country celebrating Valentine's Day. April Fools. St. Patrick's Day for the Irish. Just anything holiday you want to think of. They could be dancing like Michael Jackson around. They could be dancing like Michael Jackson around Halloween, moonwalking in Africa while they eating the bush meat. But besides that, they could be celebrating Christmas with their loved ones. And I'm going to land my plane right there.
Thanks, Brother EJ. I did want to add this real quick point. A lot of times we talk about the white supremacists who are telling on us on the job. They're sneaking behind our backs and telling HR, hey, you know, Brother Black Alpha, he did this or he did that. What we don't realize is that a lot of these people are not the white supremacists. A lot of times they're the melanated uh, tethers who are amongst us. Groups, Mr. Mutombo, they're the ones who are going behind the scenes, who are telling HR on us, who are, trying to get us fired, trying to sabotage us. So again, call ICE and call them twice. 866-347-2423. All right, I believe it is it Boykin next? I believe so. Go ahead.
Hi, good evening. Peace and blessings to everyone in the room. And I am so glad that the deportations are happening. The biggest reason is this. A lot of people don't understand economics. What you had with those illegal aliens was a black market on labor that artificially drove down the prices of wages, drove down the incomes. And another thing was when you had all of these illegal aliens putting pressure on goods and services, so that artificially increased the numbers of people. That's why the prices went up, okay? Some of it was price gouging indeed, but when you bring in literally tens of millions of foreign trespassers that are squatting on our soil, creating hardship with social services, housing, and all of the things that U.S. citizens are supposed to have because we're the ones that pay the taxes. They're eating off of our plates. We pay, even the people who are down and out on Skid Row or down and out in the crack houses, they're still paying their taxes to support these ungrateful foreign nationals who are living for free. They're not putting anything into the system. They're leeching off of our resources. A lot of folks literally die, shed blood, sweat, and tears for the little bit of benefits that we're getting at social services, housing, job, education, and training. But in the last 20 years, you had these foreigners come in and shut us out with their false sense of entitlement, telling us we can't get what our tax dollars, this is our money, we're paying for this. So let Trump do his job. Let ICE do their job. Let the federal government do what they're supposed to do, which is protect the U.S. citizens. Their job is to enforce the laws, comply with the laws, interpret the laws, and execute those laws. Listen, I'm in a damn sanctuary city, but that stuff is no longer a sanctuary for these foreign trespassers who don't have a right to be here. I'm in a sanctuary state. Well, no more. No more. They started those deportation flights from SeaTac International last week. They put about 150 of them on that military transport plane out of the country. It's like, bye-bye, don't let the doorknob hit you on the ass out. And listen, if they have to go after some of these state legislators who've been naturalized, you know what? The denaturalization process, that has happened before. Don't let these liberals and this liberal media fool you. This government has denaturalized people. They don't talk about it in history. They don't want any of these people to know about this. But they have denaturalized people, and they will continue to do so. So let it happen. I just sit back and watch and say, I'm glad something is getting done here. It's been passed. And you know what? When they talk about those immigration laws of 1990 that let in all those H-1B visa people, take away our jobs. Okay? You know what? They can repeal that. Congress can repeal that. Same thing with that Immigration Act of 1965. They can repeal that. They've got enough people sitting in Congress right now. If somebody pushes it, they can repeal that stuff in an instant. Okay? Always remember, study your history, read up on what's going on economically, historically, because what these folks have finally realized that we have the power. We're United States citizens. We can vote. We can lobby. We can get our economic stuff together and throw these sons and daughters up out of the paint. And with that, I yield Mike.
Appreciate you. Appreciate you. Listen, family, this is what everybody got to understand. This is what everybody has to understand is that every single immigrant who comes to the United States of America, they sign a contract with white supremacy. And that is that they are to do the bidding of white supremacy and they are to get their migrant immigrant brownie points. That's what they've all been doing. So when you see these people who practice anti-black racism in their own homelands, and then they come over here and they practice anti-foundational black American hatred, racism, vitriol, spite, jealousy, envy, it's all a part of the deal. And right now, when you see these people getting deported, that is them getting their contracts ripped up and it's null and void. This mass deportation process is lovely. It's a wonderful thing. It's amazing. All right. The reason being is let's go there. They've been importing anti-black American racists to come to this country. That's what it's always been. That's what it's always been. Remember, the Democratic Party, the same party that black Americans have voted for at 90%, have been putting migrants in our communities that we live in at 70%. So that right there is never going to work. There's no way around that. That is not going to work. So this has created a complete reversal. So everybody who's came over here and they said the first thing they want to do is they want to come down on black Americans. They say, let's get to the United States of America. Let's come down on black Americans and let's snuggle up next to the dominant society. All of that stuff about them wanting to come over here for a better life, that's all cap. That's always been a lie. Migrants and immigrants want to come over here so they could be next to white people. That's what it's always been about. How do you know? It's because in their homelands, they welcome white people every day. They want to be around a white person, whether that's being an immigrant in a white nation or having a white person be the colonizer in their nation. Everywhere you turn around, the white man is around these people because they're always welcoming them in. Come on down to Latin America. Come on down to Africa. We'll roll out the red carpet and accept you as a colonizer. And if you don't do it that way, then we'll just come to your country. We'll get in a boat or we'll get in the bottom of a damn van and you got to literally break the van and 25 of us come running out. This is who's been coming to the United States of America. Let's be real about immigration. Let's be real about the mentality of all of the migrants who come here. Foundational Black Americans have been the only people really calling it out. That is the mentality of all these folks. So there's no way that anybody could have ever created some type of coalition. Remember, it's not the black and brown coalition. It's the black and brown no-alition. It's not minority. It's linority. It's not people of color. It's leeches of color. And they come over here and their contract is you do the bidding of white supremacy. You come down on black Americans and we will give you EBT cards, luxury hotels. We'll set you up real nice. You ain't got to do nothing. We, by standing on business and really exposing all that, we've wrecked all their plans. So now these people got to go back home. And there's another thing too, since we dropping receipts, and remember, receipts yield results. All of those things about these children and families, Tom Homan just said it the other day. He said that he actually seen some statistics. Well, matter of fact, he didn't see them. He literally helped calculate the damn statistics. And 75% of these people who are saying these are their kids, they're not even their kids anyway after they did blood work. So this is why a lot of folks don't even know who the hell these goddamn people are. You don't know who the people are, the adults don't know who the kids are. Go ahead, sister.
Kids? Are they trafficking kids? Is that what's happening?
Absolutely. Absolutely. 350,000 missing kids at the border. And remember, Donald Trump was telling everybody this. That's a damn good statement, my sister. Absolutely. 350,000 kids that disappeared. And we come to find out, statistics are coming out now, that Donald Trump and Tom Homan in 5 days have already seen and found like 25, 35% of those kids. So it goes to show again, Joe Biden, Kamala Harris, god damn, you mean to tell me that Donald Trump was this terrible, terrible man who was putting kids in cages, but y'all was out here acting like 350,000 kids weren't missing? Let's go there. Absolute trafficking, because the cartels are handing babies off. And I've also heard stories personally about Mexican mothers that literally pay people to take their kids. Here's my child, here's some money, and I'm out. So we know these people ain't coming over here with no good intentions. As a matter of fact, when you look at every single statistic available, you see that these people are the opposite of what they try to tell us. So now you're starting to see these people really come down to reality, fam. Everybody's getting a dosage of reality, and we handing it out to them. And one more thing that I want to talk about, since we all here, deportations. They ain't deporting Black Americans. It ain't happening. And we ain't scared. We ain't afraid. So you can take that shit and you can go on back home with it. You are not going to deport foundational Black Americans. Do not lump us in with that. That scare tactic ain't going to work. I don't give a damn if it's Al Sharpton and his perm. I don't give a damn who you are. This scare tactic that they're going to try to deport Black Americans, they wouldn't even try it. They know better. They know better, because the dominant society understands that stuff that they pull on the migrants and all those games that they play on them, don't even bother coming at us that way. That is the Democrats' last hope to get us to stop. I told everybody, I just said it on my broadcast the other day, that is what I call tether translation. When they say they gonna deport Black Americans, what it really is that they gonna deport all the migrants, and can Black Americans come help me out? When they say we all friends and people of color, that really means I need a friend because my ass is about to go home. Every time they talk that deportation shit with us, it's just them admitting that they asses is going home and we ain't got to leave. Remember, y'all, being a certified foundational Black American, that's a royal flush. Look at your cards. Look at your deck right now. That is something they can never take away. Matter of fact, I'm going to say this. Foundational Black Americans representing the United States of America, that is kicking the world's ass right now. They can't stand it. They love when they could Africanize us. They love when they could migrant us, when they could deportation us, all of those us's that they was trying to associate with this lineage, heritage, and culture. There ain't no way to get around it. You mean to tell me that all my certifieds in here, I know we got some tethers in here and some fleers, but that's okay. All my certifieds right now, you are from the United States of America. Your lineage built this country. You fought in every single war. You maintain and sustain this goddamn country. You have the biggest royal flush in your pocket. And anytime someone get out of line, all you got to do is reach out and slam that shit on the table. Checkmate. And that is what it is. And that's the energy that we got. So go ahead and walk with your damn chest out, with your head to the sky, because they can't take that away from you. Everybody wants the citizenship that you had when you was born. Your mama had when she was born. Your mama's mama had it. The whole damn world, we looking at the whole planet Earth crash out right now because they want your citizenship. The citizenship of being a foundational Black American, meaning the foundation, meaning day one, meaning the originator. That is literally something that these folks are willing to crash out over. And they're upset that the people that they hate the most have something that they want the most, and they can't deal with it. So like I always say, you ain't got to like it, you ain't got to love it, but you better respect it, because you damn sure can't check it. FBA all goddamn day. Black Truth is to you, and then you can spin around the hands.
Got it. Yeah, I do want to mention the reason why a lot of those children are not are found to be not the blood relatives of the quote unquote parents is because the cartels, who are the ones who are quote unquote leading the migrant caravans, the ones who they claim they're protecting the migrants, illegal aliens really, as they move up the chain all the way to the US border. But what they're doing is they're paying individuals, or they're cutting the charges that they extort from these families in half, or they give them some kind of major discount if they will pawn off their children to other individuals. And these children are being SA'd, these children are being taken advantage of. Sometimes when they cross, they're going with two different strangers. Neither, or really all three of them may not know one another, but they're considered and classified as a family. And when they're classified as a family, that makes it easier for them to be accepted and to be given asylum and all these other benefits. So that's why the cartel will lower the price for individuals who pawn off their children. So just wanted to add that insight in case you were wondering. So yeah, it definitely is a form of trafficking. All right, let me see. Let's go to, I think it was Head and Shoulders, and then the Black, and then Blunty. Let's do it in that order.
Yeah, and just to add to that, that's crazy. I didn't even know anything about that. Thank you guys for revealing that information. Um, Black Alpha, uh, do you happen to know the organization that you had mentioned in the video that's basically been trafficking all of these illegals around the planet? Because I was trying to look for that. I had a link for it before my system kind of reset on me. So if you got a chance, would you mind posting it on your profile?
I got you. Definitely. You talking about the ones that's human trafficking, or are you talking about the mass flow international immigration?
That international, because it's a lot of churches on there, and that's what I was
Oh,
trying to look
okay.
for.
I got you. Yeah, it would be the Miles for Migrants, the IOM, and then you also have Migrant Equity. You'll see all three of those, and there you go.
Thanks, and I land.
Appreciate you, family. Oh, you back, Marcel? I seen you was giving a Taylor some of that work, brother. It's on you, fam.
Yeah, I want to also say there's been this story that they've been putting into circulation talking about how Black Americans, when they say that to our freedmen, the foundational Black Americans, how we should be wary of these deportations. And they've been talking about this quote unquote Black man who was apprehended by ICE and was apparently taken into custody for months. But they leave out that, first of all, he was born to Jamaican parents, he was born in Jamaica, and he was caught selling damn drugs. So I think they were about to send him to Jamaica because, oh, damn well. So they try to say he's a naturalized citizen. They're always trying to make us somehow analogous to immigrants. You don't see them do that to white people. You don't see them to Native Americans. They're always trying to do it to us. We are not immigrants. Nowhere can we be compared to immigrants. But just beware of that story they've been trying to put into rotation. They're leaving out a lot of details about that particular person. We have nothing to be worried about. Look, I'm in South Carolina already. And if they deport me to where my parents are from, on my father's side it will be South Carolina, on my mother's side it will be New York. But if you go to my mother's grandparents, it will all be South Carolina. Her great grandparents will all be South Carolina. Great great grandparents, South Carolina. My father's side, parents, South Carolina. Great grandparents, South Carolina. Great 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 grandparents, South Carolina. Great 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 grandparents, South Carolina. So they'll probably just deport me to South Carolina if they find me walking around. That's the only place they can put me because that's where my lineage goes.
So about 4 miles away.
Exactly. My front yard to my home.
That's what I'm talking about. Gulfport, Mississippi. Here I come. Let's get it right. All right, who else we had in here? Let's keep the thing flowing. The Black Receipt, and then we'll send it to Blunty King. Go ahead, Blunty King. You can rock.
Yes, sir. Thank you. Thank you. I just wanted to say, I first became aware of the anti-FBA hate in this country, in the UK, when I first booked a ticket to go see Tariq Nasheed come to Birmingham. And the person who actually banned him from the country was a woman named Priti Patel, who's the Home Secretary, who's of Indian descent. So these non-FBAs are globally trying to silence FBAs. So
Wait
they're
a
all
minute.
on
Are you
code.
saying
So it's
Pretty
time for
Patel
us to get
banned
on code.
Tariq from the country, from that country, or is that what you just said? I didn't hear.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that's right. She was the Home Secretary of the Conservative government, which left power, and she signed off on banning him from the country and threatening him with arrest if he came here, because he was likely going to inspire other Black people who are like-minded to fight back against white supremacy. So I want to see some of her countrymen be sent back to India as well.
Thanks for letting us know about that, Blunty King. Yes. Just like what I was saying before, a lot of times you think, hey, that must have been a white person, telling on me or banning me or doing this or that, behind the scenes. And it's me. I have reported you. Sometimes you think they can't even speak English and they're sitting up reporting you. they'll write a report on you in Chinese. They don't give a damn what it is. They'll report you and won't have a second thought. So again, ICE 866-347-2423. All right, let's go to the black.
Real quick, bro. Black Truth United, real quick.
Yes, sir.
So I'm looking at the news. Well, not right now. I'm actually walking my dog, but before I left my house, I'm looking at the news, and Al Sharpton is currently on there, and he's saying about, because you brought this up, speaking of, Indians and all that. Al Sharpton is up there saying that, we should boycott several companies that do not support, that's on board with the banning of DEI. We should boycott them and not support them. Food companies such as like, Stop and Shop, which we have in New York, and these other companies, he wants us to not support them and boycott them. But my thing is with that whole DEI mess, the type of work that I do, I learned firsthand that DEI does not benefit Black people. It benefits those East Indians way more than it benefits us. When it comes to like city contracts or anything dealing with like New York City, it benefits them way more than it does us. So no, we don't need that DEI. We don't need that. No, it does not benefit you the way you think it does. It doesn't. I'm sorry. So it's sad to hear that someone of East Indian descent got our brother Flex, banned from the damn UK. But I do appreciate it because I ended up linking up with Tariq because he came to New York instead of going out there. So I guess it worked out for me. And I guess the rest was history. But brother, if you can provide any documentation or anything on how we can get that ban uplifted on our brother, definitely shoot that to Nikki or myself or Black Alpha, anyone, so that we can get that information to brother. Thank you.
Yeah, my DMs are open, Blunty.
Shout out for that. Let me say this as well. That's a damn good point you made, Brother Sage. The whole world knows that DEI does not benefit foundational Black Americans. The same way the whole damn world knows that mass immigration does not benefit foundational Black Americans, the same as affirmative action. The Democrats know, they just don't give a shit. And this is why we completely crippled that Democratic plantation on election night. They run all of these scams and these hustles on us. And it used to work. It used to work until we showed up. See, we showed up and we found every single hustle that they did. We highlighted, exposed it by having these conversations, breaking it down, exchanging notes, and putting receipts on the table. And now they can't do that stuff no more. They can't. This is why Al Sharpton, who's 3 billion years old, and he's out here having these damn protests like it's 1965 and don't nobody even show up. These people are absolutely irrelevant. Roland Martin's irrelevant. The Democratic Shield at this moment is the most irrelevant person, individual in the United States of America. Nobody takes them serious at all. The Democratic plantation burned down to the ground and you got about 4 blackface Democrats left. They're the same after slavery, the people that wouldn't leave the plantation after slavery. Massa done croaked, the plantations burnt down, the Confederacy lost, and they still didn't want to leave. So all of these things that they're trying to put on top of foundational Black Americans and scare us. Remember, y'all, they only use scare tactics when they're scared of us. They don't have to resort to that when Black folks was doing things blindly. You could just point in a direction and Black folks to go there. They can't get foundational Black Americans on board with caping for DEI, caping for the migrants, caping for the illegals. We're not doing that. We're not caping for the Democratic Party. So the more they pull out these tactics, and that's what it's been. Wasn't it just, 2 months ago, they were blaming Black men for Kamala losing? Y'all notice how quick they got some act right? Notice they ain't running that no more. They ain't trying to blame Black Americans no more. Now they got to get friendly diddly winly with us. Now it turned from y'all Blacks men's is misogynistic to Black folks, we all on your side. How about y'all go and hate for the migrants? You see, family, they don't have anything without us. Damn what they say, damn what they do. We know, and that's all that matters. If you and I know, then that's what really moves mountains. They understand that they need Black Americans for every single thing they do. They're in debt right now. They're in debt and they got to call in all of those goddamn paper stacks because people are saying, wait a minute, you spent trillions on migrants and Kamala ain't here to protect them. Remember that, by the way, too, fam. When we got rid of Kamala and Joe Biden, we got rid of the tether protection program. Nobody's there to protect them anymore. Donald Trump came in and now he's getting them out the paint. And then this is what you're seeing throughout this country on the political side. You're seeing a political party that's in its last few days, and you see that its number one voter block ain't rocking with them. And that's because the grassroots. This is the first time ever that the grassroots controls the discourse of Black America. The boule is gone. Family, on election night, we TKO'd about 5-6 different groups with one damn day. So imagine what we'll do, family, with 1 year, 2 year, 3 year, 4 year. This is our time to shine, and they know that. So no, you can't deport us. No, we don't give a damn about DEI. No, we don't give a damn about the migrants. And no, we don't give a damn about any scare tactic you come up with. You only pull those because you know you have nothing left. What happens when the Democrats can't scare Black people? They go out of business. What's going on right now? They going out of business. And as they go out of business, the migrants are going home and FBA going to the bank. Run that check. Go ahead, my brother. The Black receipt. It's on you.
Yeah, only DI I know about is deporting every illegal. Goddamn me, for real. But say, I want to add when it comes down to people trying to push this narrative of who's going to pick your fruits. Uh, we have great Black American owned companies like Goodies Foods who grow and can their food by themselves, and they have many different types of machinery to dig up their crops safely without harming uh their yield. So it's crazy to me because like we do live in 2025. They got automatic scooters and different type of technology. I'm not understanding why we can't come up with technology to pick plants and fruits from trees and stuff like that don't sit right with me, especially with all the great minds that we have across this nation. Uh, I feel like this is just an excuse to keep the low wage workers on in coming into America, and also like we do have a lot of Black farmers across the nation. So uh, let less corporate farms and corporate foods uh, us consuming is even better because we have a lot of people that's growing natural foods, which, like the brother I think Head and Shoulders said earlier, that uh, the government was trying to shut down. That's one of the reasons why the Amish had came out in the numbers that they did, because we know they don't even believe in dealing with politics, but them being shut down and not being able to eat the foods that they usually eat and sell it and have they natural way of living, they was forced to put their religious ideologies to the side and become part of the political process. And uh, I think that's a beautiful thing because it just shows that we need we need to continue to do the same thing. This delineation uh, forcing all these tellers to expose where they originally come from, and us will be the best outcome for this nation because soon as we can weed out the it's really not going to be the large number that they claim is it has always been, because how many white people y'all know with the last name Williams, Washington, or Jones, Johnson? I don't know too many. Those are last names that are 90% and higher uh, that are Black American names. You don't even find no English people, no Black English people across the pond with those type of names. So we are the progenitors and the the heirs to this country, and a lot of people know it. And it reminds me of what our sister was Cyber Regina said in Tariq Space a couple of weeks ago, that most of these people who are flooding into our countries are like subjects to the British crown, and knowing that British people have always held a disdain against us because we was able to gain our independence and help people build this great nation, they always had like a chip on their shoulder against us. That's one reason why Jamaicans continue to call us Yankees to this day, because they sided with the British, and some of them that was part of this land got deported. Well, like traitors should, and I feel like we should do that again. Have some old people that's hating on us, and I'm fine with being the villain and the Joker. I just want to know why so serious, because at the end of the day, they was telling us to comply. If the police come to our neighborhood and want to do their business, so I say do the same thing and say comply. Matumbo, comply. You know what I'm saying? Be a good citizen and comply and follow the law. And you might, no, I ain't gonna say might, because I hope we shut the doors for at least a good 75 to 80 years from allowing people to come in, so we can actually work on our internal issues within this country. Because that's one reason why I feel like we haven't got past the reparations stage, because most of the people who are white and has been here as long as we, they kind of on board, and they understand that America can't last without us. It's just their tethers, our tethers, and all the people in the middle who continue to thwart our efforts to finally, you know what I'm saying, receive compensation for the lost wages and stolen labor from our elders, and the acclaim of building this country. Because uh I didn't know about one crow till the end of last year. I don't want to hear about that shit no more, because this shit was a fable, and I want to continue to have that as a fable instead of essays trying to make that a reality and make it some revisionist history. And I land there.
Yes. No. Hey, let me say this real quick about that Juan Crow. Okay. Let's make this clear. What that lasts for? What, an hour? Did they try to push that for a good hour? How long that go, brother?
30 minutes.
30 minutes. He didn't even give it an hour. I give it 29 and a half. Okay. It ain't even work like that. And understanding, when you talk about this mass deportation, all of those brown folks, this all goes back. And Donald Trump's doing something else. And y'all know, y'all been seeing, it's called the Gulf of America. Okay. The Gulf of America. And I'm all with it. Gulf of America should have been the Gulf of America a long goddamn time ago. Okay. That is what I like to see. All right. Because I have no issues with tethers, fleers, hoppers, skippers, or jumpers. I have no issues with them getting their wake up calls from the dominant society. Because remember, they come over here and they want to be a part of the dominant society. They come over here and they want to be intertwined with the dominant society and come down on us. So now the fact that that same dominant society that they have been trying to be intermixed with is the same dominant society that's putting their ass out in the street, that shows you the difference of today and yesterday. Yesterday, they was running amok. Today, they quiet. They on mute mode. They didn't think that they'd be sitting here begging FBA for help when they was invading our spaces, invading our country, invading our neighborhoods. They thought it was sweet. Now everybody's finding out it ain't so sweet in these FBA streets. So we control every single thing that goes on in this country. And I'm going to continue to say that. And the brothers and sisters out here in the grassroots, we've been the ones putting that on the forefront. If it wasn't for us, you'd get all those democratic narratives. Every single democratic narrative, I want you to think about every one you've ever heard. Tell me any of them that's even working. None of that stuff is working. Not one damn democratic narrative or talking point is working. The Boulet's not working. They're all out of business. If you look at them, they scared. You can see it in their eyes. They're afraid right now because they've invested in a lot of policies that are having a backfire effect. So this is why, if you examine the United States of America currently, no one is more empowered than us, our lineage, heritage, and culture at the grassroots level. And it was a picture perfect time. And I told y'all, delineation is not on its way. Delineation is here, y'all. Delineation is here. They know that we are separate from all of these other groups. How do they know? Because they done had a front row seat watching us run these people out of our neighborhoods, out the paint, off the field. And now apparently we running them out the country. So it's a beautiful day to be FBA. And when you certify all the time. Listen, I need everybody in here. We deep as hell, right? I need y'all to subscribe to the Black Alpha Network. I'm going to put it up in the Jumbotron. It's going to be there. Make sure that you subscribe to the Black Alpha Network. Hottest thing going. We had 2,000 people in the chat. That's all we do. Y'all make sure y'all get it. It's the hottest thing going. If you ain't subscribed to the Black Alpha Network, make sure you do. And we're going to continue to build. We build and we work and we shine and we grind it. But let's get to the hands. Unless my brother Sage of Black Truth United had anything to say, then we can cook. But I want to get to these hands because apparently a lot of brothers and sisters are basking in the glory of this victory of getting our reparations and seeing these mass deportations. Go ahead, brothers.
Let's go to, I think is it housing next?
Yeah, that's me, brother. Alpha, peace to the gods and everybody. I just want to say a couple of things in our close. Brother Al Sharpton, Slickback Al, he's running around in Harlem, and he got everybody thinking that the policies that Trump just implemented is affecting Black America. No, it's not. And also, all the people that's with him work for his network. Everybody knows that. He's got a little network down there. He just got a bunch of money from Carmella, and he just sells Black people straight down the pipeline. And another thing, they got a saying in South America and also in the Caribbean and Africa. I don't know how to say it in a language, but I know how to say it in English. It's called me, no, you. Meaning that they come over here, they just take, take, take. That's all they do. They just take, take, take. They don't have nothing for nobody. You know what I'm saying? I'm not a sympathizer. Pack them all up, as Tyreek said in one of his spaces a long time ago. They came over here because when they was over there, they could have gotten popping. So they came right here, and they found out they come over here, they get everything for free. You got the man working, and you got the lady collecting a bunch of food stamps. It was one time this cashier showed me this immigrant how much money she had in her food stamp account. She had $14,000 in food stamps. $14,000 in food stamps off of my tax dollar and our tax dollar. So, Trump, pack them up. Pack them up. And with that, I close. Peace to the room.
Much respect, much respect. All right, let's keep the
Thank
hands
you, Alpha. Thank you, brother.
all day, every day, family. Much respect. Hold it down.
You already.
Tracy Triplet. It's on you.
Oh, hey, how's everybody
Real
doing?
good, real good.
I ain't gonna be too long, but so I'm in Kansas City, Missouri. I don't know if anybody's on here,
Hold on,
but
wait a minute. Shout out to Kansas
so
City. Much
far,
respect. Wyandotte County. Much respect.
okay, so yeah, Missouri is supposed to not be a sanctuary state, but I mean they're flooding them in here too. So I mean, how does that work? How do you know if they're illegal or not? You know what I mean? I don't know how this works. Because I don't be call. I guess I could call, but I don't be calling and they end up not doing anything. You know what I'm saying?
It's
Absolutely. Continue. Go ahead, brother. Go ahead. Handle that, fam.
it works on suspicion. So you may suspect them of being illegal. You don't have to be 100% accurate. But I mean, we all have an idea.
Uh,
If you see, 45 people at a company in 2 trucks, and they pop out, none of them speak English. They're all showing clear signs that they're not citizens. They're going to cash checking locations. They're showing that type of behavior. Yeah, it becomes pretty obvious that they are not citizens. So, it works off suspicion. You're not going to be 100% accurate on everything. And you could easily put, like, if you report a business, you could easily say, I suspect that this percentage of the individuals are illegally here in the US or something like that. Because most of the places I've reported, it's like 90+% of the workers. They've been trying to replace the entire FBA workforce out where I'm at. So yeah, I've definitely been
Right.
reporting, and let's say that it's actually 85% instead of 90%. Well, then ICE will work that out. They'll make sure that they go through, they check people's citizenship, and if they're here legally, hey, they get to stay. If they're not, adios. So that's what you do.
Try to
Okay, because like,
try to
uh
follow the league of the concerned Karen who calls the police on a black man that's just walking in the park because she suspects he looks suspicious. She's just concerned. All you have to be is concerned. Otherwise, you just look for
I got you.
things like a lot of them riding in a truck together to go to work, just riding in the back of a damn truck. That doesn't look normal, and just
I
things
got
like
you.
that. I'm not speaking English, but I'm sorry for
Yeah, a
cutting you
low
off.
rider with hydraulics going up and down the street, knowing damn well they're not supposed to do that. That look very suspicious too.
For these,
Yeah, shoot, I know, brothers, you just said Wyandotte. KCK, I don't go in that area. I haven't been in that area in a long time, but man, I went there like maybe 2 months ago. I almost cried because it's like they have completely washed us out of that. And you know what I'm talking about over by 7th Street Casino off in that
I
area
know
by the
exactly what you're
courthouse.
talking about. Absolutely.
I've been in that
Yeah,
area too.
because my peoples used to stay all through there and they're all gone. I'm like, this is insane. It really
Yeah, we,
is.
we used to call it
So I'm
we
trying to
we
do my
had, we used to
part.
call it over there. We say the Mexican Walmart. Absolutely, I know exactly where you at. Know exactly what you mean. Grab that phone. Black Truth, go ahead and give it a number. Punch this in your phone,
Eight
my sister.
866
I got it. Uh-huh.
347 2423. That's 866 347 2423. Call ICE and call them twice.
When we gonna get that commercial from you,
Yep.
brother? Cause you got the voice of a fuck who need to be doing commercials. You could be a lawyer right about now, like Ken Nugent. One call, that's all.
I want to piggyback off of what Nikki said
And then it's
too.
like, okay.
It's not your job, sis, to be the police. It's not your job to make sure every accusation that you're doing is correct. Like Nikki said, we need to become black Karens, and we need to make off of suspicion. Excuse me, off of suspicion. We need to call. When you have a young black kid selling water and a white woman is on the phone trying to see if she has a permit, we need to be that kind of person. So um yeah, yeah. Have your phone handy, and if you suspect something, then you call. And that's just the way it is. That's the way it is. Maybe you shouldn't have came here if you felt like that. That's wrong, but that's the way it is. You had a choice, and now you got a choice to go back. Brother Black Truth United. One more time. Hit me with it.
Yes, sir. That's 866 347 2423. You can also report online. I have the link in the Jumbotron. Let me see. Yes, it's right there. So you can definitely do either way. I prefer doing the online method, but I I call as well. And either way, like you said, being a Karen, I actually made a video recently about how to be a Karen in 2025. We need to embrace this quote unquote black Karenhood. I mean, we need to be the people who are striking fear in these illegal aliens, because these people are literally tearing down our communities. They're stripping away opportunities that we could be having. The sister mentioned how she was almost heartbroken in a certain area in Kansas City when she saw the great replacement. I think Brother Black Alpha invited Shay to speak, and we didn't get a response, so I'll go ahead and drop her down.
No problem. No problem. Mr. AO's on you.
Hey, peace, fam. Can y'all hear me?
Yeah, you good.
All right, man. First off, man, hey, appreciate the space, appreciate everything y'all doing, man. Hey, I'm in Virginia right now, man. I didn't know it was going down like that until today when I went to my little part-time job. Yeah, folks, they scared out here, man. They scared, like they really deporting people. They going up in the schools, Home Depots, all that stuff. Everything y'all was showing in the podcast is happening, and for some odd reason. These people looking at us like we the blame for it. Like they mad at us. You know what I'm saying? So just want to tell the fam, be safe, man. Take care of the fam first. We got to really be on code. We got to look out for each other because they not looking at, you know, the reality of the situation, that they was breaking laws and they didn't do it the right way, and that them people that we've been trying to warn them about forever, the people that we've been warning them about, you know, they don't get it. We've been warning them forever about, you know, WS folks, but it is what it is. So I just want my family, man, all to be one family, just to stay on code, just look out for each other, and just be safe out here, because I just got a feeling they're gonna try to use this as a scapegoat instead of actually realizing that America is what it is. I land right there.
Indeed, and we're going to embrace the villainy. Shout out to Brother Torian, Reigns Reloaded.
Much respect, much respect. Yeah, we good. We already on code. Us being on code got us in the position right now where everybody afraid of us. That's why everybody's against the ropes right now. So yes, we're gonna definitely continue to stay vigilant, stay strong, stay safe, stick to, you know, one another, and we're gonna just continue to run these people out the paint and, you know, get them out of here. But y'all do me a favor. Black Truth, if you can, family, can you put my YouTube channel, your YouTube channel, and our brother Church? Church ain't in here right now, but these are some good brothers right now that I really want to big up. You know, some of the other people who are on the up and up in the new black media. I want y'all to make sure y'all follow them, because it was us in the Black Grassroots self-journalism that really exposed this. Remember, every time you see one of these people getting deported, you can point back to a foundational Black American who really was the ones who were the catalyst for this taking off the way it has. This is why everybody talking about, you know, birthright citizenship, mass deportations. These were things that we were calling out before the dominant society did. Don't let them give this to MAGA. We're not going to give this to MAGA. That no. MAGA was just out here saying, build that damn wall. And that's all they were saying. They weren't detailed with it. We're the ones breaking down the numbers and the statistics. We're the ones who made everybody do an audit. All right. There's been an audit of the population of America, and they found out a lot of these people ain't came back on their returns. And that's because we were the ones filming it. Look at every single video you've seen of migrants, and it's always a foundational Black American recording it. I don't give a damn if it's Atlanta, if it's New York, if it's out on the West Coast. That's what it is. The same brothers and sisters we have represented here in this space, these are the same brothers and sisters who were filming, who were doing reporting, who were showing, yo, look at all of these people here. If anybody doesn't believe me, remember, 70% of our population are the places where they get dropped off in. So that shows you we've been on the front lines of exposing this migrant crisis. We exposed it, then everybody else started to follow, and then you got mass deportations. And it take a lot of people in the new black media. You already know about everybody else, but I want to go ahead and shine a light on some of the brothers who've been doing some good work, some of the sisters who've been doing good work. I see Nicey Girl in here. Much respect to her. She's been on the front lines as well. Y'all make sure y'all follow her and check out her channel. My brother Black Truth United, my brother Black Church of Black Power. Make sure you follow them, because I done got so goddamn big that I want to shine a light on some other people who are out there shining the same way. My brother Tariq showed me a lot of love. I want to show a lot of love to everybody else, because if we all move this thing together, then that's how we go. I'm not about being like separate from our people. I'm about all of us mobbing together. That's the real FBA way. So shout out to all my brothers, the big top ones like my brother Tariq, all the way down to the people just starting their channels. Y'all make sure y'all follow them, because you might come up on some information that you ain't seen on the news. You might find out some things that's been going on in your neighborhood that they ain't been talking about, because we got all the intelligent brothers and sisters out there to chop it up. So if you can put those in the jumbo for me, my brother Black Truth, I appreciate you, fam. Let's keep the hands rolling though. I think I see, is it Empress? That's on you.
It's Empress.
Empress, it's on you, sister.
Good evening, family, and hello, my gorgeous Nikki. Much Detroit love to you all. Allow me to bring something to you all's attention that's been going on. Here in Detroit, we have a section, it's in Southwest Detroit, and this is where your heaviest Hispanic and East Arabian and East Indian reside, between Hamtramck, Michigan, which is within Detroit, and heavy in Dearborn. And my point is, these people, in terms of the men, then started getting real violently hostile to the Black community. Let me give you an example. When you go to your local grocery store, Kroger's, Myers, Targets, etc., just using that as an example, it's courtesy if you're right in front of someone and someone is, picking their items, you say, excuse me. These people have no respect. And I said to one today, next week, Wednesday, starts the year of the snake. And snake is vicious and cold and can care less. Your time is up. You're not going to be here too much longer. You're going to be extra friendly 2025 and 2026. When that fire horse come in 2026, you haven't seen nothing with mass deport. That's when you know the major change is going to be. Another thing I'm sick of, D.L. Hughley been running a lot of these BS shows with Hispanic women saying that Black teachers are going to put their bodies and put their lives to protect any migrant child, even if they have to be like the 1960s. And my thing is, this is nonsense. When you see it on Instagram, it is real BS, because nobody should be putting their lives on the line for a culture of people that call you compra negros and have no problem with it. And then the dictatorial of arrogance and saying the Black community should be humble and that Mexico gave us a sanctuary when we as slaves escaped in Mexico in the 17 and 1800s. My thing is, why do we owe you anything in modern times in California, in your city council, and in Chicago? You will boldly use racial slurs and nothing is done about it. I've been in New York and see how they can be disrespectful to the police. So I hope that they are not only deported, saying that they don't want to pay us. Right now in Michigan, the Democrat Party is fighting hard just to keep from raising those that work in restaurants as tip employees. They want for the minimum wage to go up, rightfully so, over $10. All of your migrant workers want to keep it at $3.65. And that was the minimum wage rate, 1986 through 1988. It's only them for the vast majority, and you want to convince people they're not going to make any tips if the minimum wage becomes a working living wage. I will be glad to see more deportation. Too many of our people have been sucked up into this nonsense that we have to speak up for these communities. Here in Detroit, they don't even come and speak up when it's been any kind of police violence in the suburbs, because if it's done in Detroit, they know we will riot, and so they don't come hard like that in Detroit. But when they come and live in Detroit, it's an edge that they have. If they're surrounded by a bunch of Blacks, they don't have all that hostility. But in Southwest Detroit, where it's like 80% within that community, they seem to feel entitled. Now they've been running scared, and I want them to continue. I want to see massive deportation. Nikki, I like to ask, what is your thoughts on this being shown on E.L. Hughley's constantly showing Hispanic women bragging about all Black women coming to their rescue, trying to make us feel like it's our obligation?
It's a false narrative that's being put out. Black women shouldn't be coming to anyone's rescue, but they're trying to make it look like Black women and Black teachers, Black educators, Black professionals are risking their freedom, like they're willing to break the law to protect these illegal immigrants. And that's just not happening. You'll find some people who are doing it, but if they are doing it, they're going to learn pretty quick that they're breaking the law. And
It's the truth. Not only is it just D.L. Hughley, but there's another one in Texas. I like a lot of her content. That's Dr. Candace Matthews. I really like the work she does in the community, but she's been spewing hard against Snoop Dogg and Nelly for entertaining and making money off the campaign. And my thing is, why don't the Black community have a right to earn a living, even if they don't like who is paying them? But the same thing is not done when your loyal Democrat Party come and make multi-billions of dollars. That's not frowned upon. See, it's a contradictory. I've never seen much hostility over somebody losing. This wasn't that kind of hostility when Gore lost the election, when Hillary lost it, like it is because of Harris. And I just sat on the couch. I've seen too much here in Michigan of these lying Democrats that promise you they're going to help you, and they won't even introduce basic bills. So I cannot support none of these people, because when we go to them, they don't help us. They'll tell us that's not our jobs. I'll land my plane in finishing this point. Representative Rashida Tlaib has been in office for years. She got in by John Conyers, one of our lead congressmen that unfortunately, when he passed away, he was still a U.S. congressman, and he was elected, if I'm not mistaken, 1963. I asked this woman, October of 2022, to introduce some particular, bills. And she looked me in my face and promised she would. And I told her, I said, you're lying to my face. I said, but a day gonna come, I'm gonna see you be stripped to nothing. You're gonna beg the Black community to support you. And that day has already came. Trump is totally against her. She's the one you'll see on the House, Arabian descent, speaking about Palestine. That's been going on in our city councils. I don't know if that's been happening in everybody's city and state, where your local city council can't have a meeting without them talking about the Gaza and the Palestine war. And my thing is, what do we have to do on the streets currently? Being discriminated against in your own city or state as a foundation Black American. But this year of the snake, it's going to get together. I'll land my plane.
Thanks, Sister Nikki. Thank you, Sister Empress. And I wanted to say, Brother Black Alpha, I added your channel link as well as the Church of Black Power. What was the other one? Was it GBS, or who did you want me to add?
Yeah, matter of fact, add him and Nicety and Sincere, if you could.
Got it, will do.
Brother Stage, you want to go ahead and say something, fam?
No, I just want to say, Georgia Bulldogs, just leave them where they are. I just want to throw that out there.
Nah, we ain't doing all that. Leave them Jets and them Giants up there in disarray. But salute to you, brother.
Ohio State's the national champions either way, so don't even matter, y'all. Don't even matter. Eclipse, it's on you.
Hey, what's up, family?
Much respect, fam. What's on your mind,
NBA
brother?
family. Oh man, let me get started with I'm glad my man Trump is in office, getting all these illegals up out of here, because first and foremost, we've been dealing with so much racism and brutality from these migrants from the Caribbean and from just across the border and down in South America for the longest. We've been dealing like the sister Empress just said. Yes, I'm from Detroit as well. I'm glad that it's all starting to clear up. I feel so much better just walking around the neighborhood, and I feel much safer. And then at work, there's so many Mexicans and migrants at the job cleaning and stuff. I said, I'm about to make a call and just have this boy raided while I'm on the clock, you know. I say it's time to make it just happen, man, because I'm tired of seeing, because I'm saying we need to open, there's more jobs that's needed for our community that they have taken, because these corporations want to keep the pay rates low, you see, because today at work, it was a guy was talking about we need the migrants here because who's gonna pick the oranges in Florida? I say, shoot, we'll pick some oranges, but you gotta pay us to pick some oranges. See, we ain't
Hell
like
yeah,
it
you
ain't
can
the
pay me.
agriculture time. Right, you gotta pay me. I'll pick some oranges, but you better pay me some good paper and put some good benefits on there. So the point is they don't want to pay us. You see, that's the only reason why these migrants are here. They just want to have them do all the work for the little pay. So, but we tired of that. No, get them up out of here because the brutality, the racism, and all this. They want to talk smack, and then you want to give them chips, and then don't want to give us no jobs. Like the other brother said, they getting $14,000 bridge cards, food stamps, Medicaid, dental for nothing. Just come across the border illegally. Don't have nothing to contribute. And I'm glad that, you see, I always tell people, man, we have to understand war tactics. Sometimes the enemy of my enemy is my friend sometimes. See, we don't have to agree with the white supremacists on all things, but this thing right here, this deportation, we can agree on that. I continue with the white supremacists when it comes to these immigrants. You know, we have to understand the war tactics and understand sometimes those tactics can be more beneficial to us than it is to them. You know, the people got to understand that definitely within our FBA community. And man, I love y'all, man. Y'all just keep pushing, keep teaching, man, and all powers and blessings to my FBA family.
Much respect, family. Shout out to Detroit all day. Much respect to the D. Let me say this, family, and you made a great point right there. There's no emotion with our lineage right now. There's no emotion. We ain't coming to, the table with feelings and trying to figure out things. No, we already know it's all business, never personal. And if our business is personal to you, then that's a personal problem. This is why we're moving so far right now, is because everything that we're doing is based on where the money at, we going that way. Where the tangibles, we going that way. So if you see some folks that want to get these migrants out of the country and we know that that benefits us, then let's do business. We not going to be friends. We ain't going to sit down and go hang out nowhere. No, we going to come to the table. We going to have a plan. We going to benefit from it. They going to go they goddamn way, and then we going to go our goddamn way, and then the migrants are going to go they goddamn way, which is back home. And it's as simple as that. This is what happens when you are on code. On code is about no emotions. You show me somebody who's got emotions, I'm going to show you somebody who ain't on code. The code has to be enforced. If you don't enforce the code, then you ain't got one at all. And if you really want to go back to previous generations, they didn't really have a code because they was too goddamn emotional. So now we're moving forward saying business first, business over everything, and it's going to be lineage business. And this is why you're seeing us get results. Family, how many times we going to win? Nobody's on a winning streak right now other than us. Everybody else is taking losses. FBA's winning big time. This is why they always out here trying to tell us how we ain't winning. They want to hit you with that reverse psychology. You ain't got to reverse shit. We winning left and right. You want to talk about politics? Cool. You want to talk about in the social world? Cool. Somebody asked me the other day, they say, where Fat Joe? I said, can't find him. And Fat Joe, he on that Ozempic, you know what I'm saying? So he might have, just slid his way out the building with Busta Rhymes some goddamn where. But either way, you don't see these people. We ending their careers. We sitting here telling people if you insult the lineage, heritage, and culture, then you're going to go ahead and have to pay that price. And that was to the point, family, you know what I'm saying? We ain't even got to do nothing. You feel me? This is where we are moving, and it's based on us as a lineage not being emotional, staying on code and on business, identifying who the ops are, and then getting them out of our way. They always try to put somebody in the way of what we were trying to create, and simply we just brushed everybody aside, kicked them out the goddamn building, put their asses on the corner, and it seems like it's trash day every day. So the trash man then came and threw their asses in the dumpster, and now they got to all watch foundational Black Americans ball, and we balling out right now. And that is a significant improvement, but I don't want to just say improvement because you always had brothers and sisters who were in the Black grassroots. I'm just saying now here comes a whole cavalry of us, and we're stronger than ever. So when you see people going home, I don't look at that and attribute that to Donald Trump. I see Donald Trump only doing something because he knew that Black Americans were on board with it. How come Donald Trump didn't get that popping in 2016 when he was president the first time? Because you had Black Lives Matter running around here. That's why. Now you got certified foundational Black Americans, and guess what? You got mass deportations. Told you so. Nothing moves in this country without us. Okay, seeing is believing, and we watching with 2020 vision. Every single thing that we say is gonna happen ends up happening. We say that person right there, career about to go down the drain, the shit down the drain. We say that politician is about to get wrecked on the election day. She got wrecked on election day. Barack Obama, legacy gone. Barack Obama out here trying to fuck Jennifer Aniston. So you know he having hard times right now.
They doing slave role plays like it's a rerun episode of Roots. So I don't want to give y'all no bad energy.
You know, hey, y'all know we f***ed his whole career up. This man, hey, he went to go get a bitch from Friends, from a 1990 sitcom. I be damn. Easy work, and we making it look too easy right now. Y'all know, when you rock with the Black Alpha Network, I'm going to always talk about winning. That's in my nature. That's my DNA to talk about winning. I ain't sitting here. I ain't on that Dr. Umar, but we sitting here trying to talk about people. Matter of fact, speaking of Dr. Umar, you know, we'd be remiss if we were talking about tethers and we didn't bring up Dr. Kubar Vasquez. Let me holler at him real quick, just real quick, okay? Because he's irrelevant as well too. Dr. Kubar is super irrelevant. Nobody rock with him. But let me say this: remember, y'all, a scam African and these migrants getting deported, they the same people. These are people who have what? No borders. Remember, in Pan-Africanism, there's no borders. Illegal migrants, there's no borders. So when you deal with these no borders having ass people, what do? You get irrelevance. And this is why these people are not relevant and they can't come around. The same exact way Julio, Fernando, Pedro, Gonzalez is not right here in the United States of America moving anything. It's the same way Dr. Kubar, Gonzalez, Dr. Kubar, Estrada, Alfredo, he ain't got nothing popping in the United States of America. He's irrelevant as well. So basically, we ended the scam after. And at the people of colorism, the Democratic Party ism. We ruined all of that, and we did it with style. That's the FBA way. So y'all continue to stay on code, and y'all continue to give these people that work. We all do a little, then we all do a lot. Each one teach one, and that's why the movement is going along. My brother Black Truth, Sage, anything y'all want to add to that? Because I want to hold on. I see something. Hold on. What's this? Gonzo Burger. What's your name? Goy Zen.
That's
Go ahead.
me.
Go ahead.
That's me.
You
Can you hear
trolling?
me? Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
This is my
hold on
first.
now. You're not trolling, are you?
No, this is my first time calling in a space, and I am nervous, but I'm concerned about something, and I want to sound the alarm. I feel like the H-1B thing is the next battle because they have a lot of control over them once they're here. Because if they don't work hard for little pay, they will deport them. And they're coming from India, and Indians are very clannish, and they will only bring in other Indians to hire. And I've already seen ads twice now in my local area where they were asking for Indians to apply, and it was an Indian hiring. And I feel like that's a concern. And Elon and Vivek are pushing that H-1B, and they told the people that, like the nationalists on Twitter that started fighting against it, he told them to go F themselves in the face, and he was calling MAGA people retards. And I just feel like, I think that's concerning. What do you think?
It doesn't really concern us because we don't really operate in concern or worry. We just handle business. But see, the way we view it, we view the top level migrant, immigrant, the same way we view the bottom low level one. All of them have to go home. And it really wasn't a problem in the white community until he started really disrespecting white people. But Black Americans have been sounding the alarm about all immigration for the longest amount of time. So my actual advice would be for the white community to take immigration serious all the way across the board, because there is an element that was cool with it when these people were being dropped off in our communities and they were taking jobs away from Black people. No one really cared. It took Elon Musk and Vivek Ramaswamy, it took them to come out and basically say that white folks need to work harder. See, those same white folks.
It takes people of authority.
Hold on.
Let me just, I have one more thing.
Hold up. Wait a minute. Wait a
There's
minute.
that DEI
Wait a minute.
thing.
Whoa. Hold on. Give me one minute, Karen. Hold on. What I'm saying is that
I thought that you should.
I thought you got to go. Okay.
This ain't the United Nations. Calm down. Let them speak.
I'm telling you, man.
I'm sitting up muting these people. Yeah.
Jeez. Cuban Link thought he was talking. Listen, what I was saying is that you have to see what foundational Black Americans are saying in terms of immigration, okay? Because we have been correct about immigration for years. It didn't take Elon Musk or Vivek Ramaswamy to say anything. And then we find it very fraudulent that there became such a concern from MAGA when they were getting called out as white people for being lazy. And those same MAGA folks, they had no problem with people saying that about us. And a lot of them were saying that about us. So if people really want to get on board with immigration, you have to view it from the top to the bottom. It can't be okay when Black Americans are being affected by it and when MAGA folks are just walking around the corner and it's cool. So it's not a concern for us because we view it all in the same box, and that is send them home, pack them out. I don't care if that's on an H-1B visa, and I don't care if that's somebody working at Lowe's or Home Depot. Every single one of them have to go. Go ahead.
Hey,
Go ahead.
hey, nephew
Here's
Alpha,
can
nephew
I
Alpha. You know
Hold
how
on,
I say
Twizzle. Hold
this?
on, Twizzle. Hold on. Hold up. Hold up.
can I just tell you this one last thing is that they keep saying, okay, so there was DEI, and that was for Americans and minority Americans or whatever it was, it was for Americans. And I've noticed that they're kind of like bashing that and they're replacing it with this colorblind meritocracy. And I feel like what they're doing, and first of all, I've always been against immigration. I feel like Black Americans are Americans and white Americans are Americans. And I feel like what's happening is we're getting a whole bunch of people in here who don't care about us, and that's us, Black and white, and they care about their own. And I feel like DEI is being replaced with this colorblind meritocracy. And I feel like that's going to be mostly, they said up to 100 million Indians. And they are not American, whether it be a foundational Black American or a white American. We're Americans and we're kin in that way. And they don't see us that way. They hate Black people. And I always feel like we're Americans and we're going to be pushed out of, and they will take the jobs and hire each other.
First off, you don't have to feel like we're Americans. We are Americans, because you got to be very cautious with the feel like, because then it can turn into a 50-50, very murky, kind of blurry thing where they be like, could it, would it, should it? What I am saying to you is that inside of the community, immigration was something that they kind of were a little concerned with. But to us, it's always been a bigger issue because he who feels it more knows it more. And we've been feeling it the most. I don't know what your voting preference is, but in terms of the Republicans and the Democrats, for years, they both supported immigration. Donald Trump is really not a traditional Republican. That's why a lot of Republicans were switching over and voting Democrat, because they're for high wage immigration. So I would say to most people in your community that take immigration serious when it's affecting all Americans. You say we're all Americans, well, you got to have that same type of energy when it's affecting those Black Americans that you speak of. When it's affecting Black Americans, you got to have that same type of energy that you do when it affects white Americans. And not just
But
today, but before.
what's happened with white people speaking up, and this is all say I'll hang up. What happened with white Americans speaking up is they have this the battering ram of calling us racist. So
Oh,
if
hold
they
on, hold
lump
on.
it
Wait a minute. Who
together,
says that? Who says that to white people? You saying white people say
like
that to other white people?
online, if you try
No,
to
not
say
online. I'm
anything
not saying
about
where it happens at. I'm saying who says that to white people. You saying other white people say that to other white people?
yeah, like white liberals.
Oh, okay.
I mean,
So
those
white liberals call out conservatives when they speak up for us?
Yeah, well, not just you again, but they like we can't speak out against anything without getting called that. Like if we try to speak out against immigration, they call us bigots or xenophobes or whatever you want to name. And I think a lot of white people are afraid to speak up. That's why it was so effective when you guys spoke up about this problem, because white people, even though if they want to, they're afraid to.
Okay, let me say this. White people have no problem being afraid of other white people. That's the thing. Have that same energy. You're saying you're afraid of other white people. You don't have to be
I'm not.
afraid.
I'm not.
Okay, well,
I'm not.
those
But
that you identified that are afraid of other white people, they don't need to be afraid of other white people. If you're a conservative white person, have that same energy when you go towards a liberal white person and another conservative, because there's not one side that's the bad side and one side that's the good side. Both sides practice anti-Black racism. So if you feel that a Black person is being done wrong, it's on you to stand up and call it out really with real energy, not like a small word, a quick word, you just glaze over it. You got to really go in on them. That's what I'm talking about. So your energy has to be high, and it's all about priority. I really question a lot of white people's priorities with the issues that they say really they're against. But what I am referring to is this thing where when I want to call out how black folks are treated, I can't because I get called a bad name. When has being called a bad name ever stopped white people from doing anything? They get called a lot of names and they still do it anyway. They'll colonize a whole country. And trust me, those people you're colonizing are calling you bad names. So it takes energy and effort and priorities to end anything that you see that's done wrong. Send these individuals home. But my suggestion to you is if you really, really feel that immigration is bad, feel immigration is bad all the way up from the top, all the way down to the bottom, feel immigration is bad when it affects a black person the same way it affects a white person, and do it. And also, if you want to see the future of America and the way it's going, and you really want to understand and forecast what's coming next, just listen to Foundational Black Americans because we happen to always be right.